You sober, you must like pink, or like mauve, face being labelled an unnatural girl. If only there were more colours in the world. Your path's not over, it's a smoking gun. The start of a story for everyone, where there's no preconceptions over what it should be. Our lives can be full of discovery, and there's more better things to do than run around after you. But the patriarchy we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. But the patriarchy we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. But the patriarchy we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. But the patriarchy we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. But I want the future to start today. Can't waste time listening to MRAs. We can make a difference if we stick together. The world is ours, let's change it forever. I won't stand back, I'm ready to fight. We shouldn't still have to put up with this shite. World is ours, so let's dictate it. Opportunity's here, so let's fucking take it. I've got bad things to do than run around after you. For the patriarchy we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. For the patriarchy we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. For the patriarchy we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. For the patriarchy we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. For the patriarchy we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. For the patriarchy we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. For the patriarchy we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. For the patriarchy we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. Fuck the patriarchy, we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. Fuck the patriarchy, we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. Fuck the patriarchy, we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. Fuck the patriarchy, we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. Fuck the patriarchy, we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. Fuck the patriarchy, we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. Fuck the patriarchy, we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs. Fuck the patriarchy, we've had enough. We're Fistymuffs, we're Fistymuffs.
Fuzz Bat Gigs Podcast, episode number 12, and you've just heard Identity by X-Ray Specs and Fistymuffs Anthem by Fistymuffs, and we are here with Fistymuffs, aka Ashley, Nikki, and Suky. I know we're speaking a bit off mic earlier on, but how are the freebies on this ridiculously hot day?
How are the F-muffs? I'm had a long day at work, so my brain's not quite working up to speed.
I'm good, actually. I'm loving this weather, can I just say? I love the sunshine. Long may it last for me, but I know some people don't like it, so there you go.
I didn't even notice it was sunny today.
It wasn't supposed to be. Like, I looked the weather up and everything and was like, yes, 16 degrees, that's nothing, it'll be fine. And I regretted wearing jeans, like, massively. I had to sit in the window at work and I couldn't open it because there was, like, teenagers outside smoking and drinking and stuff, and it was really loud and I couldn't hear anything, so I had to shut the window. And then I called security on them because it was really annoying. Because I'm old.
Oh, don't. We'll cut that because it doesn't sound punk enough.
I was going to say, did you not want to join them, Ashley, and relive your youth?
Oh, maybe a little bit. Like, yeah. You hear my phone call. You're disrupting my meeting.
One of the most.
This is what happens to you when you get old.
Oh, I was just too damn hot as well. I was like, great, I have to shut the window now so that nobody else on this phone call can hear you. Like, and I'm boiling to death. Like, thanks so much for that. Like, it was just annoying. Yeah, it was too hot. But yeah.
I don't know. I think telling them off. I think sort of telling them off, like, you know, if you yell, that's kind of punk in its own way, you know. Like, not being afraid what they think of you. So there you go.
That's true. Yeah, everyone's secretly afraid of teenagers, but why? You know, I when I was a teenager, I was also scared of teenagers. So
yeah, it's never changed really. Maybe more scary.
People be scary. That's what it is. So
yeah.
Cool. So we'll do the career school career counselor question, which basically is, what is Fistymuffs and what does Fistymuffs represent, and how would you describe it?
Okay, so I'll answer the first one because it seems the easiest. Fistymuffs is a rock girl band formed and still living in Edinburgh, Scotland. We started through Girls Rock School in 2016, and we've been going ever since. We've released 2 EPs, done numerous gigs in Edinburgh, Glasgow, Dundee, Aberdeen, Manchester, and we're not going to stop anytime soon. So we do political punk, personally political, politically political, and yeah, we always have something to say in all our lyrics. And we put some banging music to it as well.
I think it's danceable. I could say, yeah, it's a bit danceable, you know, you can relate to it.
Well, it's definitely, you know, you make your moves, don't you? If it's bashing your head or jumping up and down or whatever you like.
Definitely always a lot of rage dancing. And that time in the past when we played gigs, and hopefully time in the future when we will play gigs again. Yeah.
We say that was going to get dark awfully quickly, like, or back when we played gigs, like in the first question.
I know, sorry. I'm just so bitter about it.
Oh, our glory days. Yeah, but we're looking forward to get back into gigging soon.
Yeah, for
So, you know, things in the works, and they're not spanners, but
Yeah.
things in the works.
Irons in the fire.
Ooh,
Mhm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, cultural. That sounded quite medievally.
Yeah.
Punk with history. That's what it is.
Ooh.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, anything against something is punk, isn't it? You know, so.
I think Fistymuffs could soundtrack a punk history program or a show. You know, I think that would work.
Yeah.
Had to be
Yeah,
about.
we could
Had to
do
be. You could do the music to like Joan of Arc or something. You know, because she was pretty punk. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see.
Maybe.
Yeah, actually, that's a good shout. Or Bodicea or something like that, you know.
Was that the? Was that the? Was
Who's
that?
the most?
Was she the warrior queen or Queen Badia, the warrior queen, or am I getting mixed up? There was like a warrior queen.
I think she was the warrior queen, wasn't she? The
Yeah.
when Romans
Yeah, that's what I
took
thought.
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've watched too much history programs. That's my problem. No.
Well, Horrible History is some great tunes as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You ever watch Horrible Histories? They're great. Horrible Histories. Yeah, we should.
Maybe we
Yeah.
should punk that.
Yeah, I've not
We
watched
should.
that. I'm sure
Stupid
Kate Nash
deaths,
is
stupid
good, though.
deaths. They're funny because they're true. It's not ringing a bell.
No.
It's totally, I know what it is. I totally know what it is.
Stupid deaths. So next time it's not you. Hoo hoo.
I didn't watch the show. I didn't watch the show, but I read the books when I was wee. They're
Definitely read books for sure, but never
Oh,
seen
I
the
actually
show.
didn't read the books. I just watched the show, which is very rare for me. I usually read the books rather than watch the show or the film.
That's interesting.
There we go. Yeah.
But there you go. Horrible history recommendation. Whoever we've not seen the show, so we should we've not seen the show, so we should watch that. And you've not read the book, so you should read the books. There we go. Like cross recommendations.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
that's
Good
it.
deal.
Or I suppose you've got a is it a niece or a nephew you've got again, Suki? You could like you'll read it to them or something.
Niece. Yes. Well. Yeah. She's down south, but maybe she also. I don't know. She likes that much gore yet.
Oh,
Very
God.
young.
She didn't want to do the ghostly things. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you could take her to the if she ever comes up. You can. I mean, how old is she? You could take her to the Edinburgh Dungeon or something, maybe. But I don't know if that's,
Yeah, they came up recently, actually, like end of July, and my sister and niece, and no, we didn't get to the dungeons. Like, not ready for that. I don't think she'd enjoy it. Yeah, we went to Dynamic Earth, but she was too scared to go in the volcano room,
Oh no.
which, to be fair, was quite, well, to give it away, the ground shakes, and then this volcano like pours lava towards you. It was quite intense. Didn't
It's
expect
loud.
that. Mm.
Yes.
Sounds exciting, educational.
I used to work there.
What? Well, I actually used to work everywhere.
I know.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, I used to work in the
Cool.
gift shop. Yeah, it's random.
Huh. Oh, funny. I used to work in a gift shop of a theme park in Cornwall.
Ooh, really? I forget that is where you're from. I don't know why. I just feel like
Yeah.
I've never been, and like you don't have an accent either.
One day we should gig there. One
I
day.
think we should.
I think we should. I think it'd be really cool. It'd be nice to see it.
Yeah.
Did you used to have an accent?
No. Well, my mum's the one that's Cornish, but she actually went to private school for secondary school and got it teased out of her.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
And my dad's from up country,
Oh, cool.
Sussex. So sad, did you say? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've been out
Yeah, no, it's mean, but there we go. Yeah, and yeah. I think she's that. But then again, not a lot of people have that Cornishy accent in Cornwall. Well, I don't know. I guess it's just a subtler accent than it used to be in many places.
I don't even know what a Cornish accent sounds like, to be honest. Never heard
It's
one.
like, oi, handsome, having a pasty.
That's so
Oh,
cute.
Going up, yeah, I don't know. Like, try watching. There's this video of Grand Theft Auto Cornwall. There's this, that'll give you a taster of it. There's this guy who dubbed like big Grand Theft Auto with a Cornish accent, and so give you a taster into Cornish accent and culture.
I didn't know I needed that in my life, but I think I do.
You've got to check that out now, Stuart.
Yeah. Stop the press. We'll go listen to that now.
Yeah, we'll cut a bit in.
Anyways, yeah. So following on from the original question, would be how did Fistymuffs form? Where did you meet, and how did you end up playing music together?
Ashley, do you want to go for this one?
Yes.
Yes, sure. Yeah, so it was it's random actually. So there was Girls Rock School, which I think I did in 2015. In 2015 I went to Girls Rock School when I was doing my undergrad, because I interviewed the people who started it for my dissertation on Riot Girl. And so I did the vocals class and didn't sort of end up joining a band after that. But I did the next again. So Girls Rock School runs like 2 terms. So it runs in the spring and the autumn. So I went back again because I joined the board and started being their campaign manager and helping them organize gigs and stuff. So I went and did the vocal class again, I think, that autumn. And whenever, I was definitely that. So I was helping out with everything, and I met Nikki doing that when I was helping out, because you started helping out with the drums and everything as well.
I think I'd done the drum class, Ashley, I think.
You'd been a student in the drum class.
Yeah.
That was it. Yes. And Suky, I didn't actually meet at Girls Rock School, met at a gig. Oh my God.
Did we?
Yeah.
No, I think. Well, actually, I don't know. Why did you want? Well.
Yeah, it was the Wee Red
Did
Bar.
we
It was a
do the gig?
gig where what's his name? Rafe?
Raph.
Yes, and he was doing that thing where like at the beginning of the gig, like everybody who wants to be in a band put their name in a wee jar. And I had
Yes,
done that,
it was
and me
called
and Doska
Bandemonium, which I feel like that was part of the attraction for me. So he got everyone to put his name in a hat, and he said we picked 6 people out or something, and then they 4 people out, and they'd all join a band and play at my next gig. But there was only 6 people who put their names in. Me, Ashley, I think Doska from the Fighting Suffragettes, and a few other people. and it never really happened
Yeah.
because we had kind of a meeting but didn't go anywhere, and actually missed that meeting, I think. But so I actually still hadn't met Ashley, even though I'd kind of joined the band for her maybe at one point. But no, we didn't actually. It didn't happen. Nothing came of it. But I did get maybe. I became more aware of Ashley then. But we didn't meet at the gig, I don't think. Just in a
We did.
person. So then later
Yeah,
on,
we totally did, because like we went to the pub afterwards. There was me, you, Doska, there was
Wait, what?
Sharon and her brother and Dan, and we went to Opium. I remember because I was really fucking sick.
what?
Like,
Oh,
the
I'm
next
sorry.
day. Oh, it's not your fault. Don't worry.
Oh
I
my
remember
gosh. What did we talk about? Did we talk?
We just chatted away about random stuff, and then mostly I remember sitting in Opium while Dan, my boyfriend, spoke to Sharon's brother, and you and Doska and some other randoms like drew pictures on a table. I remember that because I thought it was just really random. Yeah.
Opium.
And then I was
Wow.
ill because I was intolerant to gluten at that point, but I didn't know, and I drank loads of beer all night and was like really ill for like a week afterwards.
Oh no. Wow. What an origin story for both your, gluten intolerance and this band. So is that why you got in touch and asked me to start a band with you?
Yeah, I think we were in touch like a little bit after that, and we totally went and met a girl who was also at Girls Rock School, who was a drummer, and we went into like a student commune.
Yes.
Yes,
We did do that.
we did.
In
and
the
it was
student
fucking
co-op. It was freezing.
middle
We
of
had a jam
winter.
with some drummer there. Yes,
Some
I
random
remember.
girl. Yeah, we
I
went
actually
to,
did the bass lessons at Girls Rock School in the autumn of 2015.
Mhm.
So I think I had borrowed a bass and tried to play the bass then as well, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were gonna.
So this is a very convoluted story. So then Ashley finally it was the spring of 2016. Ashley brought us all together because she knew us. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
because
remember seeing-
I'd done that graduation gig, didn't I, with Sam and that.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
I remember.
I had nothing happening, and I didn't think I was actually going to continue drumming, to be honest with you. And then Ashley just out the blue messaged me and said, "We seen you. Do you want to join? We're thinking of forming a band." And I was like, "Oh my god, that's mental! Why is someone asking me this?" I mean, to be honest with you, I'll be brutally honest. My drumming at that point was probably a little bit ropey, to say the least. I was still learning. I'm still learning now. But then we all met and we went to oh God, what's that pub on the corner?
The Region.
The Region.
Yeah,
And we went in
met
there
the
and
Region.
we all sort of met in there and we had a drink and chatted. And me and Suky were just talking, because we talked about band names, and we just come up with this name, didn't we? And Suky just like usual inspiration.
Oh, well, I actually came up with that in my house rather than on the spur of the moment there.
Oh, right. Well, it felt like it was the spirit of the moment, Suky. So I'm going to embrace that as part of our folklore. So our folklore says that we were having this conversation, and suddenly Suky went, I went fisticuffs, and she went, no, Fistymuffs. That's the origin story.
More succinct than what actually happened.
Yeah, you've got to murky it up in the midst of time, haven't you? You know what I mean?
I mean, I feel like I've told our origin story before and maybe had got some of the details wrong now, because there's things I'm completely forgotten about till now. I mean, I still don't really remember the opium meeting. Opium, by the way, is a bar in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Not some dodgy place you would frequent opium.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's probably happened.
It's probably happened there at some point. Definitely, I'm sure someone's definitely like done that in the bathrooms there or something at some point. So.
Oh, dive is not even the best word to describe that place. Like.
Well, don't talk it down. And I mean,
Good fun. It's a fun bar.
Yet, have we? We need to have a gig there sometime, because tick it off our list of Edinburgh venues.
Yeah, it's a cracking venue.
It's
And now they won't ask us because you're not a fan.
I spent far too much of my youth in that place to really want to play a gig in it.
Yeah. It's very rooted in like lots of like metal and like heavier stuff and everything. So like, you know, it could be good fun to go there. Like I find if I ever go there, it takes it back to being like 15 again in my head and like
Absolutely. Yeah. To be fair. It's like my little sister used to work there like as a barmaid, so I feel like maybe I just know far too much about it to
Oh wow. Oh right.
See,
So you know how they
I think we've got a bit of naivety, me and Suki, because obviously we're not from Edinburgh, so we don't have that kind of context.
I totally like forget that you're not Scottish as well, like all the time. I just like see you as being from here and never really, unless we're talking about it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, you're totally what?
honorary Scots.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, so I would say that's our origin story in the context of sort of meeting.
So what happened? We formed in like April of 2016. This is the well, you tell me if I'm wrong because this is my story anyway.
Okay.
And then we decided to do. We wanted to do the Girls Rock School Showcase, so that made us really get our arse in gear. And I thought, oh, I'll play the guitar because that's more punk, and was the girl who's going to play the guitar wasn't going to make it, so I was like, I will play the guitar parts since we hadn't actually written any guitar parts, so I thought I'd only write songs that were easy enough to play. And so that's when we wrote Fistymuffs Anthem, Coercive Control and Innocent Contact.
Yes.
And the Hat song, which is we were taught about.
Yes, the Hat song.
I don't think I've ever seen that one. Have you ever played that live when I've seen you? Like the Hat song. I don't think I know that one. So
maybe we need to bring it back. To you, Stuart.
Or yeah, I would just get my guitar here. All the way. Well, how did it go? All the hats I've lost. All the hats I've lost. It was better with music. It sounds a bit flat now. All the hats I've lost.
And
then we'd all start naming different hats.
Yeah, over the
in the past. Yes,
that sounds fun. Quite light for you actually. That's quite a light subject matter compared to what you generally think about.
Yeah,
I think as well, like, you know, in the context obviously of those early songs we were writing, we're still learning what we're doing, and we were just putting together things that were simple for us to play, and this Hat song was just like something we could just do just to fill a gap for a set.
Yeah, a little funny thing. Although, you know, there's just we haven't written more light-hearted songs. There's just so much to say. There's so much when that they're really passionate. We've got to get out there in our lyrics, such as I suppose to give some examples that such as like diet culture, mental health, abusive relationships, and actually our third EP, we're going for like corporate greenwashing, billionaires, the world of work.
Well, there's gentrification. There's gentrification as well, because you have that song about Leith and stuff as well. So
second EP, that was a big issue. Yeah, it is sad to see all the shops closed up in Leith Depot being the only premises open, because all the businesses along Leith Walk, there's one large building where all the businesses were kicked out because they wanted to turn it into student flats. And the planning application's been rejected, but you know the landlords still own the building, so they are talking about opening the shops for temporary leases. But you know, the question is, I suppose, whether they can wait it out and see if the hostility dies down, and then they maybe get what they want in the end. So I hope that doesn't happen, because it would be nice to have a proper kind of community with shops and businesses, and Leith Depot's a great gig venue, so that would be like devastating to lose.
Yeah, and we hold that place quite dear as well, don't we? You know, it feels like it's supported us a lot through what we've been doing. You know, the clientele there have always been, you know, most welcoming, and every time we've tried to, you know, we wanted to do something, you know, they've always, they always let us do stuff, and at one point we were practically calling ourselves the house band, you know, because it was just felt like we were there all the time. But it's because that, you know, they were giving us those opportunities to play live, you know, and get the music heard.
Yeah, they'll let you organize a gig there, so you can really be completely DIY and get organized.
Yeah.
Make your own gigs, which is really great, rather than having to rely on people booking you.
It's an amazing place, the Depot, like, and not just the clientele, but for the people that the folk that run it as well, like, and all the staff there are all amazing as well, and all the acts that come through and play there and everything. It's just incredible. Like, I love it. So I mentioned a bunch of times that, you know, like, you know, I think it's no secret that, you know, that I love the Depot either as well. It's no secret. It's no secret with yourselves as well, because, you know, you wrote a song about it even before that. Like, it's obvious, you know, like that was, I guess, only a matter of time that you guys would write something to do with that and stuff, I suppose. So, but also, but yeah, they just proven they can't die though, because the drummers are continue to shit on them. I don't know if you have heard, but I was speaking to Paddy about that recently actually, and like they can't do any gig. They were hoping to get some gigs in September, but they can't do that at the moment because the landlord wants to renovate the building a bit. So they have to wait until after that to do gigs. So like they don't know when yet. But...
I did send an inquiry email like a week or two ago, being quite eager, and so I did hear that it will have to wait a bit till October at least.
Yeah, hopefully October. We can
but
get
that was like the place I was desperate to get back to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no.
Even at limited capacity, that would be something.
Yeah, they might have to move downstairs as well because the drummer being funny about the upstairs as well. So they might have to move to the building at the side to do the venue there instead as well, which is also just
really.
Yeah, they would go from 60 to 50, which is a bit which is completely shit for them. It's still like a decent sort of size for a small DIY venue, but it's just I love the upstairs. It'd be a shame to just lose that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Well, I think doesn't that not put the context of what we've just been talking about into perspective? You know, the people who own the building and want to do the things they want to do with the only thought is that profit that they want to make from that land and to mess everyone around as much as possible. You know, it's like you're trying to give people unagreeable terms so they would leave, and then you go, oh, all of a sudden there's been a fire. And you can't see this, but this is inverted quotes. You know what I mean? And suddenly the building's knocked down. It just that's I think what makes you so angry, because you can see the heart of the community in that kind of a place.
Yeah.
We are. I think then it's tough with. We need more independent, small gig venues in Edinburgh, but it's tough if there's. This shows you the situation, even if people want to set them up, like they're at the mercy of hostile landlords, as well as Edinburgh Council regulations, which don't permit audible noise, even if
unless it's during the fringe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they're making money out of that, aren't they? So
yeah.
It's not just them as well. Like you look at obviously I think it's important to not lose sight of it. Obviously the Depot was badly affected by the whole drum property and Leith Walk kind of thing. You know, it's important to remember they managed to survive at least, where all places didn't. Because there was a family run, was it cafe next to the Depot? They've been there for years and they had to move. I think they got a place in Newington, I think.
Yes.
Not Newington,
60 years, Cafe.
New Haven,
Terrible.
yeah. And then there was the bed shop as well. They've done okay. They moved to Bonington, but not Bonington.
Punjabi
Bonington,
Junction. I also missed that. Punjabi Junction. That was.
So I thought we still have the Depot. There's a lot of other places that have been lost there, and it's really shit for the community because they should have all stayed. But
yeah,
and the village shut down in lockdown. That's where Nikki used to DJ.
Yeah, that's right. That's another venue, and that was another community space as well that is gone.
Been there for years.
Sat there. Yeah.
I went past it the other day, and there was people in renovating it. So I don't know if it's like being bought over by someone who's just gonna turn it into like another crappy pub or whatever. But definitely, I was like, maybe I'll look into that, because if somebody good is taking it over, maybe it could be something good. But yeah, there's
Well, maybe, but
like,
that was also okay. It fell because of, I think, noise complaints. Which the trouble is, if you're move near an existing venue, there should be measures in place that the venue gets to survive because it was there first.
Yeah. Stuff happens all the time. Didn't that happen to Studio 24 as well?
Just about to say that.
That's a textbook example, I think.
Yeah, I've literally spent my entire childhood in that place, like, and it's gone. It's going to be flat, and it's just so fucking. My parents had their wedding reception in Studio 24.
Oh, like, wow! That's well cool.
Amazing! Wow, Ashley is true. Like Edinburgh, like rock. Lineage here,
and they got married where I live now. Like they got married in Leith Library is just round from where I am, but like it's just here, and there's a registry office. So my mum and dad have a picture of them on their wedding day standing outside Leith Library, and now I live around the corner from it.
That's cool.
Love it.
It's a shame that closed, so that you because I mean it'd be, obviously that must have been like a dream for you, Ashley, to have played Studio 24. I'm sure that would have been like a dream, like at some point.
God!
Oh yeah, we wanted to. The only chance we ever got was like we had to turn it down because it was like a student arts festival, was like a last minute dropout gig, so they asked us to play up, but in between next to some jazz bands, and we were like, oh, we can't do like, I don't know, 11 o'clock on a Sunday night, like in between jazz bands. We were like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was just a bit of a mess.
I feel like this would be a bad gig for us, and like last minute, like late night Sunday gigs probably would just ruin our souls.
Yeah.
And then little did we know that would be our only chance to play, and then and so when it shut down, I kind of regretted not doing that gig, but
Yeah, it's a shame, but it is what it is. People will continue to be bastards. At least we still have a bunch of good venues kicking around here, and hopefully they'll all survive. Because I know Henry's and Wee Red Bar don't know when they can reopen yet as well. So I know they're still a bit uncertain and stuff. So hopefully they'll come back.
Yeah, we were just talking about Henry's before as well. Like, I mean, that's another great venue as well. It's such a good. Like
Nikki called it the Cellar Bar, and I did not know what she was talking about. I was like, Henry's, right?
It used to be called Henry's Jazz Bar like years and years ago. Like
really?
At one point, like years ago, before its current form, I think it was like that or something, or maybe it wasn't Henry's Jazz Bar.
I'm learning so much about Edinburgh history.
I can't mind the exact name. This is before my time as well. Like I can't mind what its full name was, but I think it was Henry's Jazz Bar or something Jazz Bar. I'm not quite sure of its full title, but it was something along those lines.
Definitely, I'm sure.
But it's weird because you've got the Click Clack nights there for experimental jazz. I don't know. It's so not a jazz venue. It's like the best dive bar ever. So
and that's what this is what makes. I mean, I love those kind of places, and it just evokes really good memories. I love like intimate spaces like that because you feel you're more connected with the artist or whoever's playing. And when you go to a venue that's massive, like sometimes you get a bit lost in it, but that's such a nice little.
Yeah, like all three of those venues I love very much and stuff, and all good people and everything. So lots of love to all of them if any of them happen to to listen as well. But I know Henry's is getting some work done. They've had they took up the floor and had the new floor put in. I think they were getting like a new stage bit or something. I'm not quite sure exactly the details of the works, but I know they were. Client Claire put a thing on Facebook saying
it sounds like it's going to be too clean when we get there.
It'll still be a dive bar. She was just saying that they were lifting up the floor or something. I think there was a thing she put up where she was like, "Does anyone want a bit of the floor? Does anyone want a bit of Henry's history with you?"
Oh no! I've had a piece of that.
Yeah, it was a while ago. I was like last year. I don't know, or was it early this year? I can't remember. Some point she put that up, basically saying, "No, does anyone want a floorboard?"
That sounds like when they sold the Hacienda and they actually literally sold all the stuff off bit by bit. And people have got bits of the Hacienda here, there, and everywhere. Someone's got like posts in the garden that used to separate the dance floor from where you could walk about.
That's so cool.
Anyway, sorry, I'm getting into Manchester talk.
Yeah, no.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I kind of regret me not asking for a floorboard now. Then the more I think about it, I'm like, could have had one of those dingy floorboards covered in like all sorts of DNA and bacteria and like my flat.
When I was sick.
Yeah.
Oh.
The ceiling. To be honest, I didn't think the floor would need the work. I thought it would be the ceiling, to be honest, rather than anything in there. But
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, so was I.
I ended up poking a wee hole in that ceiling once, like when and I was like, just it's a hole, and I was like, it made it worse, and I don't know what I've done with it now, but for a while I could identify the very hole that I was like poking for a while at the venue. So I think I was there too much if I could do that, to be honest. So
Yeah.
Henrys will love you. Honestly, we really do. We love you, Henrys.
No, because they'll be back. They've had a bit of a rougher time with it, I think, because they couldn't open in any capacity. But they got some of that Creative Scotland grant as well. The Depot got that as well. Like loads of good venues across Scotland got that, which is amazing to see. So, like your Nice and Sleazy's, your as well. Your I think Stereo did as well. A bunch of Glasgow venues, and like there's that venue up in Inverness, the Tooth and Claw. I've never been to, but I've heard good things about. And some of the Aberdeen ones as well. So yeah, but I know Henry's got a bit more than say the Depot, because I think the Depot are, because they can make ends meet a bit easier with the pub and stuff. So
yeah.
But yeah, that was a lovely little tangent actually. Where like it went from Fistymuffs quite organically, Fistymuffs' first gig to all that. So
yes.
So actually, we'll go slightly back to that. So with the first gig, so it was the Girls Rock School were doing that. So it was that. So those showcases, they're like short sets, aren't they? You don't play for like a full like half hour, 40-minute thing, do you? You play for like, well, I guess whatever you've got ready, I suppose, or is it or do they say 15, 20 minutes? You've kind of got.
Yeah, because everybody usually graduate in in the March, and then the gigs in the May. So like you have like 2 months basically, so 6 to 8 weeks basically to like practice all your songs and stuff. So everybody gets about 15 minutes, apart from like whoever's headlining it, they'll give them a bit like sort of like 45 minutes, because they always got like an actual like a sort of well-known like bigger band to headline. But yeah, because everybody is just sort of just writing songs or just learning covers or whatever, so you all get like 15 minutes. So it's enough time to play sort of like 3 or 4 songs. But we wrote all 3 of our songs.
Yeah.
So I think we were the only band that did all original songs at the gig. And we, even now, I think recently we'd learned how to play a cover. Actually, we learned Androgynous, like Joan Jett's version of Androgynous, which was really cool, but also really hard, and I still haven't learned the bass part yet, so a lie, we haven't actually finished it. But,
So I guess we half learnt it, and that we kind of learnt it, and then again what happened is we were like, oh, I've got all these new lyrics and original song ideas to work on, and so then we went on to our own stuff again. Which is why we never do covers, because there's just so much like material pouring out that we need to work on of our own.
Yeah, I've amassed a fair bit, I suppose, over the last wee while and everything as well. So
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, back to that first gig. So how did the first gig go for you and stuff? Was it like ropey, but then like amazing? Because obviously the first gig of anything, it's like you're nervous, but it's like amazing to be like up on a stage and do that. But do you feel it went like quite well, or do you think it was like we had fun, but like we know we could be better? Or
I don't think I played the guitar well, but I was quite confident on stage because I've been performing poetry around Edinburgh like for 2013. Yeah, and which was when I moved to Edinburgh, so I was kind of used to being on a stage at least. So even though so I tried to cover up my lack of playing an instrument by just faking it, which is, works. Pretending it was fine.
For me, I think it was just like, I've never done, like Suky, you've obviously got that bit of experience, but I've never, like even like DJing, you're not really in the thick of the context of what an audience is seeing. You're all in the back, just people listening to your music. But yeah, for me, I was just really nervous, and I just didn't want to mess it up. That's the main thing. Just didn't want to make a fool of myself. And I get angry with myself when I'll rephrase. I get frustrated with myself when I can't do something. And these will tell you sometimes if I get really frustrated, I'll just throw my sticks out into the audience because I'm just that annoyed with myself. Done that a few times. But yeah, but to be honest with you, after it was done, I was just such a buzz. It was just like, I was so proud of myself. I was so proud of us, all of us. Like the three of us were so like amazed at what we'd achieved, and to do that in front of an audience as well. You know, for me, I just thought, wow, I can't believe we've done this, and it's just wanted to do more. Yeah, that's how I felt anyway. You know.
Yeah, I think I was like terrified, like absolutely fucking terrified. Like, yeah, because I'd been in the band when I was like 16, with like other girls, doing like punk stuff, and that was like cool. But that was a very long time ago. And yeah, I think because we were singing about stuff that was like really personal as well. So like, especially with the Coercive Control song, like, because I'd written that about like an abusive relationship I used to be in, and I'd never sort of like really like talked about it that much, or let alone like fucking like written a song about it or told other people about it, like and like I'm sure there's a video of us actually, because I think it was live streamed. There's definitely like a video of us like playing like the set, and like watching it back, like I can see when I get to like, there's a part in the middle of Coercive Control when I'm pretty sure like I do like a little speech, and I remember like trying so hard not to like totally like break down when I was doing it, because it just suddenly was all like really like real again, and like I was like really feeling like all the things, and was like really remembering it and just being like, oh my god. And yeah, like I can see myself doing it when I watch the video of it, and just being like, oh fucking hell, how did I actually keep going like get past it and actually just play the rest of the song? I have no idea, because there's been other times on stage where I've hardly been able to do that at all. Like
we've even dropped it a few times, haven't we, Ashley?
I've completely fucking lost it.
Yeah, we just decided we're not going to do it because, you know, it's not something we felt.
Yeah, like I've got halfway
yeah.
through a gig, and like that song or another song's coming up, and I'll just turn around and be like, can we just skip it, because I think I'm really not feeling like I can actually do it, like and that all that stuff's like a lot better now, but it's still quite hard to do things like that. But yeah, so I was just really like, thank fuck I got through it, like, and was like, yeah, absolutely buzzing like afterwards, and was just like, yeah, this is everything I remember it being, this is everything I wanted it to be, and I really just loved it, and was like, yeah, I love it, and I just want to keep doing it, and was just really happy. And I look ridiculous in the pictures because like I was playing a bass that I'd got for free from someone, and it's a normal sized bass, which for context, I'm like 5'1", and a bass is about 5 foot, so it's like literally, here's me, and it's like I'm holding another person, and it's just this huge instrument. I'm like fucking stupid, but it was fun. I had to a couple of months later, I totally ended up having tendinitis in my arms and shoulders because it was so heavy, so I had to get like a little travel bass, and now I have a nice little 3/4 bass that's very, very lightweight as well. So yeah, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I liked it. It was great. It was very scary and difficult, but it was really, really good. And yeah.
GOS was such a great supportive environment to do a first gig in, because yeah, I don't know how like we would have, I don't know, have got started otherwise with our first gig. I mean, we wouldn't have done M1 like a month after trying to write some songs, certainly. And yeah, it's good to have someone who just gives you permission to get up on stage without having to prove yourself first. You can just go and see what it's all about and go on from there.
Yeah, big shout to them as well, because they do like so much. They do good work for getting a lot of like women and non-binary people involved in music and everything. And I think there's a lot of, I don't know how you feel, but from an outsider's perspective, because obviously I'm not female or non-binary, but like from an outsider's perspective, what I can see is it's they give a lot of people like the confidence. Yeah, as you say, the confidence to form in bands and do things and everything, and it's really nice to see sort of the impact they've had, I think, of getting more women involved in music and stuff and everything, which is just, particularly sort of, I guess, heavier and noisier things. It's cool. It's really good to see, and they do and I think they're definitely very important to, and it's good that they're still going and that they've been doing it for how many years have they been doing it for now? They've been doing it for quite a while, which is just
since 2015, yes, so 6 years now. Yeah. As well, skipped one during COVID, but 6 years overall, because they were organising it before that. And yeah, no, it's brilliant. Like, I really liked being like on the committee, like when I was at uni and stuff before. And for about 2 years, I was like helping them organise like the graduate gigs and a bunch of other stuff, and it was just great. Like Fiona and Carol were amazing, and there was a woman, like all the women who set it up. So there's Fiona and Carol, and there was a woman called Claire as well, who sadly passed away like a couple months ago from cancer. But she was one of the founding members of Girls Rock School, so I got to work with her a lot, and she came to gigs, and even when she wasn't that involved in the committee anymore, she like still like came to everybody's gigs and was just like super involved with all the women, and it was just brilliant. Like everybody was like so supportive. It's just such a nice community. Like it's literally started like a whole scene like of like feminist like music, and a lot of it's punk and a lot of it's other stuff as well. But yeah, like it was just amazing to have like all these supportive women, and like not even just like just for music, but generally like most of the friends I have now are from Girls Rock School, or like that like if you are struggling at a gig, like when I used to run gigs a lot like before lockdown, and when I was struggling like to have like when I did gigs at Leith Depot and I needed like someone to do the sound engineering, like Carol, who's one of the Girls Rock School people, like she would come and do it for me, just to help me out, so that like you have like this group of people who, like, if you need to borrow an instrument, you need help with sound engineering, you need help setting up a gig, or you just need like a rent-a-crowd to come and support you at a show, like they will always do that, like, and we do it for them, and like it's just this really nice community, and like I'm just so like thankful that we have that, and it's amazing, really, and yeah, hopefully we can just keep doing it forever and keep getting funded, and yeah, because it made such a difference. Like I never would have gone back. I mean, I always wanted to go back and do like music and do bands and stuff, but I had absolutely no confidence whatsoever at all, and I wouldn't have done it if I hadn't have gone through Girls Rock School at all. I wouldn't have known how to go about it, or like how to pick it back up or anything. So yeah, super grateful for them.
Totally. I started going to the Girls Rock School songwriting sessions, which is during lockdown as well, which has been really therapeutic. Yeah. So a bunch of us meet online, and often, like, I think it's Lorraine or Lou bring writing exercises. We try and write a song in the space of the morning, and it just gets your creative energy going a bit, and see how it goes. I don't think I've actually written any upcoming Fistymuffs songs there exactly, but I'll look through my notes. Maybe I'll mix up with all of them one day.
Yeah, I've been a couple of times, and actually I think the last 2 songs that I wrote for Fistymuffs came out of that.
That's really cool.
Sure. Yeah, it's been decent, and it's run by Lorraine Macaulay, who's a musician and involved with Girls Rock School, and Lou McLean, who is our friend and who is involved in Girls Rock School as well.
Yeah, we'll talk more about Lou later and stuff, and but like folk listeners are probably familiar with Lou and stuff as well, because I played Lou on not the last episode, but the episode before. I played one of her songs off her new EP, which is really good, by the way. Like her new EP is like really cool, and like that there's that song was The World Is on Fire. I really like. I think that's a really beautiful song. It's really nice and stuff. So so she's great, and like that's an example. Yeah, you're right. It's an example of what you were saying of like I was saying there was times to be. You're right. There is other stuff that could be just as punk and just as like, you know, direct and everything that's much more, you know, like what Lou does, which is acoustic sort of songwriter stuff, and you know, and yeah, there's other folk to do that. There's like you've got V Ruins as well, who also does stuff. Which is good as well. I'm sure there's Molly Weird, I think, was through the girl. I think she knows. I don't know if she went to the Girls' Walk School or not, but I know she's friends with some of the folk and stuff as well and everything. She played a stream, so there's that sort of folkier side of things as well, which is great. But you know, I've talked to this before. You know, punk is like, you know, like I think the most punk thing you could do is be honest and just get up there and do something. So you know, like people will associate with a genre, but like I don't know. I think it's just being up there doing. Creating that's punk to me. You know, you could be playing fucking, I don't know, synth pop, but like doing it in the most direct way that you could to you, and that's punk. So
yeah, I agree. That's what I always think. Like, even if someone's a total random genre, I'm just like, nope, this is still punk. It's still punk because you're doing it in a certain way and you've got an attitude about it, and like it's political or it's like personally political or whatever. And I'm just like, yep. It's all punk.
It's much more about the ideals and the communities and the political aspect of it and everything for sure. Which seems to be a theme today as well. With we are talking about the venues and Girls' Rock School, so it seems to be a theme of small communities, which is ace to have on this. I like that this is all coming round in that way. So we'll break and we'll play some songs, I guess. So yeah.
And who the fuck do you think you are? Talking to me like I'm worthless. Looking at me like I'm taking up your space. Rolling your eyes as I talk, not a hint of subtlety. You think that you can own me, but you can't. You think that you can beat me, but you won't. You think that I will go willingly with you into the night, never to be seen again, but I won't. And I will not be subjected to your disgusting comments. Or ignore your greasy fucking hands as they reach for my hips or tightly grip my wrists. Because you know what? This is not your space. And I am not yours. I am not yours to touch. I'm not yours to control. I'm not yours to corner, to drug, to abuse. I'm not fucking yours. And I'm not having it. We're not having it. None of us are fucking having it. Don't treat me like a second-class citizen. Don't treat me like you know me well. I'm just waiting for you to come back over here so I can tell you where to stick your proposal. Don't try to show me off to your best friend. Don't treat me like a means to an end. I'm just waiting for you to score me instead so I can tell you to back the fuck up. Get away, stay away. it's for your own good. Your secret's safe with me. I won't tell anyone you're the best. I won't tell anyone that you're tender and strong, but only with the wrong people.
the streets, there's no one. I call your name, no answer. I'm in my head with thoughts I dread, stones on my mind. I'm in my bed with no one. My friends call time, but they got none. to keep me calm and carry on with what we are supposed to do. Swallow, smile and pull on through with everyone. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Dreamt I was back, it was like before. But it wasn't, 'cause the thread's still there. Where is it now that I should be? For my own health, my sanity, it's nowhere. It's nowhere.
We are the light of this place. Now they come to take our space. Gentrification sweeps our nation. The streets are sold to the shores of Lake. Gentrification sweeps our nation. The streets are sold to the shores of Lake. Gentrification sweeps our nation. The streets are sold to the shores of Lake. Gentrification sweeps our nation. The streets are sold to the shores of Lake. We bring the art, give people heart, taking the risks, no one's dismissed. All of the streets, corporate owned, no place for us, no place that's home. Gentrification sweeps our nation. The streets are sold to the shores of Lake. Gentrification sweeps our nation. The streets are sold to the shores of Lake. Gentrification sweeps our nation. The streets are sold to the shores of Lake. Gentrification sweeps our nation. The streets are sold to the shores of Lake. Battle is here. Babe, now you won. Parasite rich, stealing our fun. Hungry for profit, and they have come. Let's sit back now against the drum. Gentrification sweeps our nation. The streets are sold to the shores of Lake. Gentrification sweeps our nation. The streets are sold to the shores of Lake. Gentrification sweeps our nation. The streets are sold to the shores of Lake. Gentrification sweeps our nation. The streets are sold to the shores of Lake. Gentrification sweeps our nation. The streets are sold to the shores of Lake. Gentrification sweeps our nation. The streets are sold to the shores of Lake. Gentrification sweeps our nation. The streets are sold to the shores of Lake. Gentrification sweeps our nation. The streets are sold to the shores of Lake. We are the light of this place. Now we come to take our space.
So, for anyone who's listening there, you'll have heard Innocent Contact by Fistymuffs, Dig Me Out by Sleater Kinney, My Earliest Memory and Kiss and Tell, both by God Is My Co-Pilot, The Return of Daft Head by Dragged Up, With No One by Shah Rivari, and then Gentrification of Leith by Fistymuffs. So earlier on, just before we broke there, we're talking about the first gig that your first gig that he's played. But I was thinking, so that was 2016, but I was just remembering what I've been thinking about, like, you know, getting everything together for this and stuff. Is I remember the first time I saw yourselves play would have been 2017 at weirdly enough, at the Scottish Storytelling Centre. That's the first Fistymuffs gig that I saw. Was the
Oh
Scottish
my God,
Storytelling Centre.
really?
Yeah, that was the first time.
One of the things I remember of that gig is that you came, Stu, actually.
Yeah, because we'd met before, because you'd seen Moist play, I think, a couple months before that, and we both knew Eve and stuff, but I hadn't met Ashley or Nikki at that point.
Oh, right.
So I remember that.
I always think how nice it was of you to come, because you're the only person I remember coming. I mean, I know there's other people there, but I was like, when I think of that gig, and Stu was there. But
Jess and Vicky were there as well. I think that was the first time I met them as well. I think, yeah, they were down. I'm pretty sure, or they just got to the pub afterwards. I can't remember. I think both Jess and Vicky were there, because I remember going to the pub afterwards, and they were like about. So I'm sure they were at the gig as well. No, but yeah, they definitely were. They definitely were. My brain's just a thing where it's like, these people were there, were they at all of it? And they're like, no, they were. But yeah, that was an interesting experience, because it was like quite like, I don't know, strange being in something like that and seeing like yourselves play. The sound wasn't quite right, I think, for you. It's like I liked it, but like I think seeing it in like a different venue afterwards, you're like, okay, right, you know, like I think Henry's was the next time.
I feel like I remember having to put the guitars through the PA.
I was just going to say that, Suky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was that.
That was a mess.
Yeah.
That wasn't. We were fine, but like the whole fucking thing was a fucking mess. Like that. That particular gig was run by a particular festival, which we had an absolute nightmare of a time trying to sort of get organized with. And then on the night, when we got there, they were like, we don't have amps, because they're at another venue for another gig on the same night that we're also organizing, and they were just like, oh, but you know, we could just do it some other way. We'll you know, and they were like scrambling around trying to figure out how to do it, and I was just like, what the fucking hell's going on, man? What's happening?
Yeah, we didn't get to sound check because they asked us to sound check at like 1 o'clock on the day, right? Or maybe it was the day before. It was still at 1 p.m. and we were like, oh, we're at work.
Yeah, it was like either the day off or it was like a couple of days before, and they just like phoned me up when I was at work, and they'd phoned one of the other girls who used to be in the band as well, and they were just like trying to contact all of us. They were like, why are you not here for your sound check? And we were like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, no one's told us we're supposed to be at a sound check, like what? So it was the whole thing was a total mess. By the time we got to play it, I think we were all feeling a little bit like, what is actually going on here? And yeah, it was a very odd setup and very odd thing. Generally, the sound was weird. Like, it was a whole thing. My dad really liked it, though. My dad thought it was great.
That's cute.
Very, very nice.
Actually, it turns out loads more people were in the audience than I remember. It wasn't just you.
And we did not get paid. So we also had to pay to for some reason, and I cannot remember what it was. They put it in a really interesting way. We all had to pay $5 each, and I cannot remember what the fuck it was for, but it made sense at the time. And then we didn't get paid any money at all from the gig, even though there was a bunch of people there and the tickets were like $5 each, and they were like, oh, you only made the 20 quid back. And I was like, well, there wasn't 4 fucking people there. Anyway, this is the whole thing. But we ended up just not pushing through and trying to get the money back from them and stuff, because I was just like, I don't think any of us need the stress of trying to like go forward with this and figure out what it was.
Seems strange, because it wasn't like something like Sketchies where there's like a corkage fee that everybody pays like to drink and stuff. There wasn't that there at all. So I don't know what you've been paying to. I don't know what you would have been paying for. That seems.
Oh hell no! I don't know
that's not how it works. Like, I think if anyone listening doesn't know how putting on gigs works, like that's fucking not how it works. So don't follow that example at all. Like.
Yeah, it was a very odd thing, and I think like a lot of the time we get back in the day, like, you know, when gigs before COVID, like gigs, we played a lot of gigs, and like we've all organized gigs, like everybody here, including yourself, like we've all done that extensively, and like I think when people contact you to ask you to play a gig, they don't think that you've ever organized a gig yourself, because they like to ask silly questions like, will you sell tickets? No, I will not. No, I will not go and sell tickets. You're the promoter, you should be selling the tickets. Like, I think bands should do the promotion to be like, we're playing this gig, it's gonna be amazing, like, come to this gig. But if you're asking me to go and sell 50 tickets for a gig that we're the opener for, and you say we get to keep £2 on each of those tickets, no, man, fucking no.
We just organise our own gig, yeah.
Yeah, why the hell would I do that? Like, why would anyone do that? Like, I teach event management at Edinburgh College, on and off, as like a little thing that I do there, and it's one of the first things I bring up with them. I'm just sort of like, when you talk to a band and you're like approaching them to play your gig, here's like a list of things that you should tell them. One of them is how they're getting paid and how much you can at least estimate that you're going to pay them. And also, never ask a band to sell like 60 tickets for a gig that you are literally not even sure you could sell 60 tickets for yourself. Like, it's just such an outdated way of doing things. I hate it. And I do get really like defensive when somebody like contacts us to play a gig and they like don't do any of the basic things of just sort of like, oh, like, here's how much we're going to pay you, here's when it is, here's who else is playing, and also like, you know, here's how I'm going to organize it or whatever. Like, it gets messy really quickly, and I quite kind of just think that like there's a lot of, I don't know, there's a bad culture obviously within creative circles of people not getting paid, but it gets worse when creative people don't pay each other, and like, it's just, that really does my head in like a lot, and I just think there's no need for it at all. Like, so yeah, this thing that we did, this little festival thing that we did years ago, it was just an absolute nightmare to organize and to get sorted, and the people running it were just absolutely chaotic, and like, we should have just like not bothered. But somebody had written, I think it was like the Scotsman or something, had done like a sort of top 10 things to see at this festival, and we were one of them, and I was like, that's really good press,
That's well cool.
You know, so we shouldn't drop out of it, because we'd only been together for like a year at that point, and I was just like, oh, that's like quite a big deal, that's like quite good, so we kind of have to do it then, otherwise we wouldn't have kept going with it. And then it was just not worth the stress in the end. But that's a big tangent. So it's interesting that you still came to our gigs and you saw us in that one. Thank you very much for staying.
I enjoyed it. It was still fun. It was just fun seeing, like, I don't know, like a band that do, you know, like, you know, a band that do what you used to do, you know, at somewhere like that. Because I've been to other gigs there that have been more suited for the venue, and they're great. But like, you know, that sticks in my head as being quite eventful. And in terms of the gig stuff, like, it's good that you said all that stuff, because I couldn't have put that any better myself in terms of how stuff works. So it's good to have, like, you know, it said that concisely. Like, well, concise maybe is not the right word, but like clearly, I would say. Yeah. So yeah, so I remember that gig, and then I think, yeah, the first time I used that venue that would have made more sense, I think it was not long after that. I think it was which was Henry's, I mind, because I remember me and my pal Simon came down to that. I think we went to that one. Yeah, that's right. I think I went down and he was there. Yeah, that was definitely, like, you know, more more apt. But I do remember with the story. I do remember it being funny, because I can't remember what was going on. I think was something going wrong with the gear or something. Because I remember Suky taking like our trousers off or something and talking about like our pants or something, like but they'd been like cheap pants or something, and I remember like, what?
Wait. Yes. No, I didn't. Did I just get really hot because it was?
Maybe.
I feel like I had too many layers. Oh yeah, and I feel like I was just making a point. Like, everyone takes off the top layers, but no one ever takes off the bottom layers when you're too hot.
I feel like you probably gave a good funny little like poem to justify why you done it, or something, like, I don't know. Like,
that was a very good, you know, philosophical point there about the layers system.
Yeah,
it's a very interesting point, actually.
It's all tops. Like, oh, better put on another jumper. Never put on some extra leg warmers. Very rarely. And taking off layers. It's like, oh, maybe we will go down to bra or something. No one ever goes pants and overcoat. I don't know.
That's a fair point.
Mm.
Can change things.
It's like the reverse mermaid. You know, in Red Dwarf when Cat gets the girlfriend and it's fish on top and human lady on the
God,
bottom.
yes. Oh,
And
nice
like,
Red Dwarf
oh.
reference there, Suky.
Of course, it's the same creature, mermaid.
That's exactly
Must
right.
work the other way around, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because they made jokes about that before. It's like Red Dwarf make a joke about that, and then there's also like there's a Family Guy joke about like how would sex be possible if like it was the other way around with the merman and stuff and everything like as well. So it's Red Dwarf's a class show though. Like in fact, I've not seen it in a while. Actually, I could do watching it again. But that is really funny. I don't know.
Maybe we could do a cover of the theme tune actually, because it's like
Oh, I love the theme tunes.
I get it stuck in my head all the
No
time.
kind of atmosphere, all alone, more or less. So you can take over, like me, far, far away from here. Don't leave me hanging. Fun, fun, fun in the sun, sun, sun. Fun, fun.
I was trying to add some drums in there, but it didn't quite work, did it?
I want to lie.
Maybe I should just tap on my mic.
Drinking fresh mango juice.
All the
T-shirt
words.
back in comatose. I'm not quite sure that's right. Take me far, far away from here. Anyway.
Is this what a 50 band practice in 2020 would have been like?
Pretty much,
Yeah.
Anyways, so yes, you play gigs at a bunch of gigs, and then after a while, you eventually got around to finally recording the songs that you mentioned as well. And that ties nicely up, because that was then at the Depot, wasn't it? With which is he's no longer there now. It was Leith Recording Company, wasn't it? It was Alan. I can't remember. It was Moffat. His last name is, I think. It's not that important.
Yeah.
He plays bass in a band whose name I can't remember off the top of my head. Mecca or something, is it?
I think so.
The wedding band.
I honestly,
isn't it?
Oh no, sorry, you're talking about the other Mega.
That's it. I knew he played bass in something.
Right,
I don't really know him. I just know he played bass in that, and I know he had that in the Depot. I know he had a
Yeah.
deal with the Depot where he could do his recording in there because he's friends with them and stuff. But then I know he eventually moved out of there. But anyway, so you recorded in there, and I can't remember what I had down. When did that come out again? That's right. That was July 18 that came out. But you recorded it before that. So when did you record that, and what was that like, and how did that come about? Like, how did you decide to go and work with Alan, basically, as well?
Well, I'll just quickly mention that we had a couple of false starts before we got to that point, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think we'd always been toying with the fact of getting the EP done, and we did try and do it with someone else previous to Alan, which didn't work out. And
We did a couple of times.
Actually, we did it twice. Yeah, we actually recorded. We actually did a full session with someone, and then never got them. Well, the recordings never happened. So, yeah, that was a couple of false starts. And I don't know who found Alan. Who was it who got Alan? Was it you, Ashley? Or was it you, Suky?
Like, was it you, Suky? It was
Did we record? Wait, we didn't record Voice X before. No. Did we?
Yeah, I think you.
Oh yes, I think that's how you've done it. Yeah.
The timeline. We recorded Voice X. Maybe I was in a post-punk band for a while, which only broke up actually in 2020. So. Yeah, I guess that was 2017 to 2020. Voice X was the lead vocalist, and we recorded their Leith Recording Company some demos. I completely forgot that. Oh, wow, I really am like mythologizing my own history, and I was like, yeah, it just happened.
You just got
Because he was at the Depot, and I guess, as if like we just accidentally fell through a panel in the back of the Depot and arrived there. No.
Well, I thought it was more of a vortex, wasn't it? Wasn't it? We just a vortex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Vortex. That should be the answer.
So, But hadn't Alan been to a couple of our gigs as well and really liked what we did and wanted to record us? Suky, was that
He
not?
seemed keen on what we did, yeah, which was important. So that he kind of got our sound, and as we'd never recorded before as well, it was really important that we had a supportive sound engineer, because we were a bit like maybe looking at when we were like, oh no, the pressure to perform.
Yeah.
So it was good to have really supportive. Alan was there. Was Davey also helping out with Sanj and setting things up? I think Davey from Fast Girls. So yeah, they were great. Yeah, and yeah, proper like punk lovers. Didn't mind. We were a bit scrappy, and it was So it's a really great first recording experience.
Yeah, I thought he was brilliant.
It was nice that we recorded the drums in Leith Depot, where the kit was set up, which was where we were used to playing anyway, so felt right at home.
It was great, yeah. That's nice. Nice that that's a part of it as well. That's a part of that first record, that the drums are recorded in there, and it was like literally next door to it, that we recorded it in that place and everything. So yeah, that's nice.
So did you record it like live, like the guitar, the bass, and the drums, and then put the vocals on later, or how did you just do it?
Yeah, we did it live, and then we went through to the studio next door and did the vocals and redid the bass and guitar on top of it, I think.
Yeah, we did overdub bass guitar.
And we did all 4 songs in one day. All 4 songs. And then we got there at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and we left about 9:30 at night, and we recorded all 4 of them in that one day, and then went back when he was like tidying them all up and sat with them for a few hours and did that.
That's good going for a 3-piece band, actually, like to get it all done. So if you recorded stuff as well, because sometimes even if you've done it all wet live and then did the vocals on top later, that's still been like good for time to get it all mixed and then mixed in a day after that as well. So.
Oh yeah, totally. It did not take him long. So I think we came back a week later. And he's like had worked on it, and we just finished it up while we were in the room, like just spent another sort of day with him, and it was amazing. Yeah, really, really good. And he what was it, for In Innocent Contact, there's I think on the last verse, like what is it?
Oh yeah, right in the dick,
straight in the dick, like like I think I screamed that on the last verse. And when we came in to do the mixing, he was just like, he said that he'd showed that to everybody, like anybody who would listen, he like played that one part to them because he loved it and just thought it was really fucking good and really funny, and he was so into it. And I was like, that's really nice.
And it was his suggestion that we cut out the music there so that it's over silence to really emphasize that part.
Yeah, and then we do that live now as well.
I was just going to say that.
Playing, so you can just hear me just screaming that now when we play it live, and it makes such a massive difference. It's really cool. Yeah, there was a lot of really good ideas that he had like that, just stuff that we never would have thought of or wouldn't have come up with ourselves, and he was really receptive to what we wanted to do and everything. It was a really good experience, and he was really, really gutted that he's not there anymore. So
yeah, because he moved, didn't he? But I don't know what he moved to.
Yeah, he got pushed out. Yeah, by Drum. He bought over the place and everything.
There's a theme. There's a theme here. Yeah, it's good you had a good experience with him as well. Yeah, that because that is a really good bit in that Innocent Contact song. I think like Innocent Contact, it turned out, they all turned out good, but that one turned out particularly good. I think on that EP actually, like it's a really solid start as well, and like yeah, it's quite aggressive. Like you pop the CD on, and it just like it's like suddenly like you're just yelling and like and you've got to sort of say, and you're right. I really like how urgent that is when it kind of comes in. Like but it's very much just like what it is when you see that song live. It's like you go into it, and that's what it is. So it's a true representation.
Yeah, I do. It's so weird. I forget what it's like to play it, like because I haven't rehearsed it or anything like for so long. I forget what it's like to play it, but that was the first one that I wrote as well for us as a band, like at all, and that's the first one that we learned together and everything. So it's like total special and everything, like, and yeah, I really like doing that, the sort of spoken word bit at the beginning and everything. Like it's really cool, and I think it was a very like Patti Smith inspired kind of thing, like having the spoken word in there, and then all the sort of just rageness afterwards as well, like all the screaming and everything. I love it.
And then you've got your anthem on there as well, like at the end, at the tail ends and everything. And both that and that Innocent Concept one, they've got there's the group sort of vocals, but it's like a cool kind of reverb effect or something going on. It sounds like there's some sort of nice little thing going on in the vocals. And those songs I think is most noticeable on. I don't know if it's on the other two or not, if memory serves, but yeah, it's a cool. What we did with some of the gang vocal bits were really cool on that little EP as well.
Yeah, that was cool actually. Like standing all of us together in the room, like like singing the Fistymuffs and the anthem part, like all together in the one like microphone and everything. That was really cute. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it all sounds good. He did a good job, to be honest. Like, you know, it's you know, he's clearly thinking. As a listener, I think it's well captured. So I remember the launch gig for it as well, like in July. And I remember at the time, like that was definitely like, you know, the best that you had been in when I'd seen you anyway. It's that's changed now because I've seen you like, you know, like get better with time as well. But at that time, like there was something about the performance at that time. I think definitely like you were like really on it. I remember like it was a good gig that.
I just remember really buzzing for the EP launch, and like. Yeah, feeling on top of your game. It was just so nice to have the record out. And unfortunately, we haven't got to do that for the second EP yet, because we had to release that in lockdown.
Yeah, definitely. It was really like kind of disappointing, like because we done again. It taken us like a fucking year because we went with the second one. Like we had the songs, and then we had to get the money. And then we went to Glasgow to record the drums.
We got the drums, yeah.
And then
the Green Door.
We needed to get the rest of it done. And we had to sort of like...
We ran out of money.
Ran out of money because we were like... and it was like a total mess. Yeah. We had to wait months. And then, again, it was another connection with Voice X, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was Voice X. My... so my bandmate... in Voice X, Coco Whitson was in a band with Boots for Dancing with Rusty.
They're well fun.
Yeah. And so Rusty's got his own like a little recording studio down in Leith, or just quite near where I live. So yeah, we asked him if we could slot down there, and he also kind of I think understood the music. We're kind of maybe going a bit more post-punk, but he was in the Fire Engines in his back in the day as well, so he liked that. He really kind of got the kind of spiky punky sound we were going for it before, and he gave us like a great deal and like recording it for us, really like didn't hardly judge us anything really. Just it was, so big help, like thanks so much to him, and we learned so much again. And even we've got a little synth part in Survivor's White History, so more hands than we could actually perform live.
That's We Fight, for anyone who doesn't know, and that was April 2020 that came out, so just when the lockdown kind of started, a month after the lockdown started.
Like a couple weeks after the world went into lockdown, basically, and we had to release it into the void, and literally I think we got like 3 reviews off it, and I was so fucking disappointed, like, because we were
a lot of the... It's true, a lot of the press, maybe stuff had been furloughed, and
there was no one left to write about.
I still need to grab a copy of that actually, because I haven't got around to buying a copy of that yet, so which I will do. If
we'd had a launch gig, like you could have picked.
I would have. That's happened last time. I picked it up at the gig, so. Yeah,
I feel like I can't. Yeah, it also got T-shirts finally. But ready for the launch, and I can't wait to get to a gig and force them into drunken people's hands in exchange for money. because I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot harder to like sell stuff, I suppose, on Bandcamp rather than in person.
Yeah.
When people might just hear tiny music and can get enthusiastic. Yeah, it can easier to get lost in the void of the internet, I guess. So, but they are there if anyone's listening.
Yeah. People do love a good T-shirt as well, and I can say myself, the T-shirts are really good. Suky, you did the picture, didn't you? It's a wee cat
thanks.
on the. Yeah. They're a really good it's a top quality T-shirt, and it's a fair trades company that makes it as well. So the staff who made it aren't shat on, which I really respect you for going with and doing as well. It was that's really cool to see, and everything. But no, I ordered that. I was like, yeah, it's a banging T-shirt. I'm delighted with it. So like, hopefully folk will be picking those up at the gigs when that can happen again.
No Sweat is where we got them from. That's what they're called. No Sweat, as in yeah.
And it was because Petrol Girl. We played with Petrol Girls a couple of times actually, but their T-shirts are made by No Sweat as well. And I think that's like I remember you saying, Suky, that that's what they'd done, and then we looked into it from there. And it just seemed like a really it's the best thing to do, and they feel so good. Like they're the nicest feeling T-shirts I've ever had generally. And I think merch, like, God, go to so many gigs and buy so many band T-shirts, and then you're just like, this is terrible. The neck is so high, or it's just like it's Fruit of the Loom, and it's like made of terrible material, and it's so uncomfortable. I'm just like cutting them up or whatever. Like, so I think good merch is like something that like not a lot of bands have. Like, even if the design's really nice, I'm still like, that T-shirt looks really uncomfortable. And also, why is it not only in like this one style? Like there's nothing interesting about this. So I think like I really like that our T-shirts, like, yeah, we got a whole bunch of different sizes, and we got different types. Like we got like fitted ones and unisex ones, and I think we did well. So yeah, more interesting merch. What we need. Tank tops, cut off T-shirts, all of it. I want it.
Yeah, it's a good way for bands, particularly right now at the DIY level, to kind of make some money and stuff as well, to make some cash as well. Like, because you can sell them for like even if you sell them for like a tenner, you can make some money for them, or 15 or something as well, which is pretty reasonable, to be honest. So
yeah, for sure. So
and
high quality T-shirts.
Yeah, and if they're nice as well, folk will go for them more. So
yeah, totally.
But slip it back to that EP. So you were saying you did the vocal. So with the vocals and the guitars, was it the vocal, the guitar, and the bass? That was all done with Rusty, basically, was it? Before, or was some of that done at the Green Door as well?
Did we keep on any of the? Did a few vocal recordings, I think, with the Leftover Time and Green Door.
Yeah, it was Hey You. We did the vocals for Hey You.
Oh right.
On that day, yeah, and when we did the drums, it was Green Door in Glasgow that we recorded the drums at, and we also did the vocals for Hey You, which is a song where I don't play bass actually, so there's just vocals and guitar and drums. So we'd done that there, and I think I was really happy with the take that we'd done, and I think it was the only. I was like, oh no, and yeah, so we kept that, and then we'd done vocals for Riots Not Diets as well, but I think we redid them because we were both singing at the same time, and it just it didn't quite work. Like, so we did it again with Rusty as well. So yeah, that was really useful actually to be able to do that with him.
That one turned out quite well, I think, because I remember Hey You as being like the song that you would do, where you would put the bass down at gigs and stuff. So it was cool that you did that one, and then where you could just like focused on doing that. And then Riots Not Diets has always been like that's always been a standout one, I think, as well. Like I think that's probably. Yeah, I think that might be. Is that my favorite? Yeah, I think that might be my favorite one actually. It's a really good song. But I think I thought it was called Diets. Not. I think I misheard it at a gig once. I thought it was Diets, not Diets, or something, or something.
What's that mean?
Yeah, and I think I almost wrote that down when I was writing the song list. The songs down today in order, and I think I wrote that to correct it. But that one's really cool. Like I really like the vocal interplay between yourselves on that one, and then because obviously Suky sings a bit and Asha sings a bit, and I really like how that kind of comes off, and then the bass rumbles on that, I really like how the bass sounds on that song, as well. I think that's the standout bass moment on that in that EP. So do you feel like your songs are kind of your songwriting kind of progressed on that EP and everything? Do you feel like you've been together a bit longer, you kind of gelled more, and you feel like you were pushing what you were doing with the songs?
Yeah.
because I think there's I could think you can see a definite progression in what you're doing. I think it's a stronger EP. Not that the first one isn't, but it's a stronger EP, and it's like you can and like there's a mix of themes going through it and stuff as well, and everything. But I don't know how you feel personally, so I'll let you talk about that.
Well,
Totally.
I think for me personally, this is where I felt I had the confidence to try and contribute to songwriting. Because most of the time, majority of the songs we all write them all together, but the ideas usually come from either Suky or Ashley. You know, that context of the songwriting itself and the words. But I did have a bit of confidence to try and put a couple of things down on paper, and I came with 2 songs, which is the Hey You and the Time. And it was great the way we could just sit down and try and put those songs together. And I was really pleased that I was able to have the confidence to do that.
I should say that Time actually went on our first EP.
Oh yeah, Time's on first EP. I can't even remember. All right, let me rephrase that. So when I wrote Time, which was on the first EP, and then I did I think for me that's that thing of having that confidence to, because this is the great thing about the way we work as a trio. You know, we can come to a session and go, I've got this great idea, and we go, right, okay, and then we sit down and we bash it out, and then suddenly there's a song out of it. And the Hey You one for me was like I wanted a call to action, to be honest with you. I wanted something where we could get the crowd shouting, and you know, that's why I wanted Ashley to really be, you know, let's get rid of the bass, let's just have me and Suky just playing those instruments and let Ashley have free reign on the stage and really scream that out. Anyway, I'll shut up because I just embarrassed myself.
No, we did write Time and Lights Look Dark around the same time. It's just they got recorded it.
I forgot about it was being on the first EP. Why did I think it was on the second? I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, we're talking about Lights Look Dark, and Time and Lights Look Dark were written at the similar times. It's just recorded very separately. We really wanted to. Time worked thematically on the first one, with all we're talking more about like harassment and violence towards women, and so we managed to squash it onto the first EP, even though we hadn't been playing it so long. Well, it's not darts. We stayed up. So I really feel like we progressed with our songwriting. We weren't really knocking things together on a deadline. We rewrote Gentrification of Leith a few times.
Yeah.
So,
in fact, I think there's a recording of us playing it in a one version, and now we've got it.
Yeah, there's a YouTube video up somewhere. Like, I don't encourage people to look at it because we rewrote it, but it's there.
With Gentrification of Leith, like I mentioned that one earlier and everything, and I was talking about Rights of Dice about having a standard kind of bass mode. I think the guitar on Gentrification of Leith is really nice. Like, that's got that. It's kind of that seems more centered around that kind of thing. And I was thinking as well, did Nikki, did you always sing on that? Because on the recording, obviously you sing on it, but I don't recall you singing on that live, or maybe just like I didn't notice at the time live or anything. But
yeah, that's another thing that I've suddenly been more confident in doing. I don't sing. I'm not a singer. I can my glasses shatter when I used to sing. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, it was just, again, I think it's that confidence in yourself, and you sort of like the way you're evolving, and I think I'd seen a few drummers singing as well. I think there was a guy I'd seen in the depot. There was I think it's a 2-piece. You know what I'm on about, and he sings, but he's like mental drummer, and he's amazing. And I watch him drumming, and I'm going, how are you drumming and singing at the same time? That's like me patting my head and doing my stomach.
God,
but then I thought,
it was
do you know what I'm on about?
Yeah. This guy. Yeah.
So
Garbo's something.
It's
Regretta Garbo.
yeah. You guys play with them when My God Is My Co-Pilot. That was a great gig.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Ryan Draver put that on, and I've given him a shout out before. But you know,
Mm.
he's a great guy as well. Put a lot of great
Yeah,
gigs in the
he was-
past,
he
so
was
he's
good, yeah.
lovely.
Yeah, and that was quite inspirational because I was watching what he was doing and I was thinking, wow, he can, you know. And then we just started toying with it, and I think Ashley and Suky would just go on, let's give it a go, and yeah, it was just a bit of confidence to try and do it. But I'm not a singer, just gonna say that.
So was that more? So that was well. I think your vocals are nice on that one. But was that more in the studio thing? You were like, oh, we could do that, or had you done that live before recording the vocals on that?
Mm.
Tried it in the rehearsal room a few times.
Yeah.
And like when we first recorded the song, like in Glasgow, when we did the drums and stuff, we hadn't done it, but like because there was about 8 months between that and when we recorded the other rest of it, we had started doing that. Like, yeah, Nikki we'd given you a microphone, like in practice, and like put it beside you so you could try and do it. And we were just mucking around with it. And I think when we were in the studio, we just kind of decided, like, let's just try this. And it took us a couple of times to get it right, because I kept coming in too early, and like because it's usually me that I just sang the whole thing on my own, so I kept coming on the wrong bit. But it was fun. It was really, again, we were all standing around a tiny little microphone back all together, like really something you couldn't do now, like really close together, like saying it one after the other. And I really like it. It sounds really cool. I really like that you can hear all of our different voices and our different accents and everything as well. Like I really
definitely.
like it. Yeah.
Well, I'm the one who doesn't have an accent, of course.
Yes, not a Cornish accent.
But I like hearing your accent.
Yeah, it's lovely hearing all three of your voices because also different, like together and stuff, and like because Nikki's is quite like it's almost like quite sweet and stuff, and then you've got your yourselves who are more like kind of film beer, but I guess it's quite a singy song, that one. It's like definitely more singing than some of the other, I guess, more spoken word shooter stuff. What's the other thing with that as well? So I was going to say, Suky, like you say you don't have an accent, but I mean, like, I don't know, like it's still obviously you're from England, I would say. Like, I mean, I didn't know you were from Cornwall till you told me. I remember when we met, I didn't know, but I do remember my friend Jay did say once. I remember, like, I think it was at a gig you were speaking or something, and he was like, "Oh, she's even posher than me," and he's like from like Kent or something, which I thought was quite funny. But he doesn't sing like he's from.
Did think I was just really posh and from Edinburgh once, because of course really posh Edinburgh people just sound like they're from England.
I suppose actually, yeah, I could see
amazing.
that actually. I could see why someone would think you're from Edinburgh, given you've lived here for quite a while. I can see why someone would think that, because the softer Edinburgh accent, there's a posh Edinburgh accent that is kind of quite smooth, so I can see.
Yeah. I'm sure an old man said that one time at a gig in the depot as well. Somebody said that you sounded really posh, and I was like, excuse me, like what are you saying here?
I got that at school. I think well, my dad's from the southeast, and my mum, like, well, yeah, I guess she speaks, well, I don't know, she does, yeah, she lost her Cornish accent when she went to private school, so it sounds a bit Cornish when she speaks to Cornish people, but otherwise it's not. I don't know. I was just taught to enunciate because I actually naturally want to. So naturally couldn't pronounce. Didn't pronounce my ths as a kid, and if I'm not careful, we'll go. Well, no. I'm actually not very. Yeah, I had to try a bit harder to enunciate because don't enunciate very well, actually. I don't try anymore.
I think that's so interesting.
I don't really do the roll my R into W, so only occasionally.
Yeah,
but
I think it's like you do, like when you do like your performance poetry and stuff, like you're so clear, like
well, that's because I make an effort. I was like, yeah. I was taught to make an effort as a kid, so it's nice. It's actually nice to do punk music and then be like, I sound like anything, and then you realise, I do kind of sometimes stroll into sounding a bit southeast. And I was like, I don't know if it's because you pick up the accent and voice accent. I was like, I sound a bit southeast, England, but I don't. It's not really necessarily putting it on, like trying to sound like the Sex Pistols, because actually my dad is from the southeast, so to be honest, I could have a claim to that, so I don't know. So I don't know what my accent is like now. I've been in Scotland so long and I haven't been trying to speak properly, so
Scotland beats out certain letters, I think, out of your pronunciation, maybe. Like it,
Oh, yeah.
beats out
but
beats
I
out
worked in a-
T's. T's are gone.
I didn't realise how I don't pronounce most my letters till I worked in an office with Scottish people, and I was like, "What do you mean? I don't." Turns out I do slur. South of England people do kind of slur their words a lot in terms of don't pronounce your R's or something. And I just can't do it.
Oh, that's a big no in Scotland.
It's not even
You've
rolling
got
R's,
to roll
it's
your
just-
R's, you know. So.
Like, like when you say berry and like I don't know, some words I just can't do it.
Yeah, but I don't know. Scotland's a weird one because I don't know. You should say water like water, but Scotland just goes water.
Yeah, water. Like
Yeah.
there's no
Water.
T's. T's are
The
gone.
T's are gone, and
Ds
the T's are gone, and the R's like really rolled. So for whatever reason.
Yeah. There's letters that are just missing from words.
Oh.
Like, all the time.
Yeah, I will bring that up next time I am teased for my lack of R's.
Have you heard
Thank you
like
for the ammunition.
have you heard like Scottish farmers or people who like I don't know who are really on like the west coast or I don't know really far like north, like fishermen and stuff like in the northeast near where I'm from, like some of the accents there are like they're pretty nuts like in terms of like how they sound and what they speak and what you can make out and stuff. So I'm sure there'll be bits of England as well. I'm sure there'll be English farmers where their accents will be insane as well. So
I love it.
but it's great. That's the beauty of being human, isn't it? People speak differently and everyone's got
That's it.
It's amazing.
I love diverse dialects.
Moving back to the one last thing I maybe should say about that about your EPs actually is that the cover art for both of them, Deborah Mullen did the photos, didn't she? And I've noticed as well. I don't think I've actually mentioned Deborah on any of these actually. I probably should give her a big shout because Deborah takes a lot of amazing pictures of bands at gigs and everything, and is really supportive of the scene. She goes into loads of the gigs and everything and stuff as well. Well, or did when things were happening, but. And she, they're both cool, but the second one, there's sort of about that, just like almost Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat almost color scheme going on the second one. That's really cool. So, So
I did love the lights in it.
Yeah. So how did you end? Well, Deborah must just met you at a gig, and then did you just decide you wanted to work with her? Did she offer to do photos for you and stuff?
Again, it's voice X, I think. Suky just does everybody.
All research must have, got her to do some photos, and then did we just really like them? And actually Debs had come to some of our gigs, so I don't know if that was before or after, but I think maybe after. She's such a stalwart of the community now. It's strange to think we never knew her. Because she photographed loads of musicians. She had that exhibition in Leith Depot. We didn't get into it, but she really happy with her photos. And so Ashley was in the middle of the first one, so we put Nikki in the middle for the second one, which means I get to be in the middle for the last one.
Yeah.
Which isn't planned because the last one's going to be an album, so I actually get the best one.
Yeah.
But, it was whoops. But
you planned that from the start, Suky.
I didn't, it was gonna be a third EP we were planning to release, but now we've got loads of song ideas built up, so I think we've got enough song ideas for an album. The problem is just getting them all recorded, and we have to learn to play them properly, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely.
So we will definitely need to employ our services for the next release as well. Keep it going.
Yeah, definitely. Our picture
captures, good eye, and now she can capture movement. People, there's one shot on us, and one of the faces of the digipack of the CD where we're running, and so I think she's definitely and also she's taken photos of us mid-gig, and I think that's a real skill to be able to capture great photos.
He's not holding bats or something in that picture, or a sticker or something.
got weapons.
Not not winged bats,
I was
but
thinking, I was like, where's
bat,
that picture? I want to see that picture.
like a rounder's bat.
That.
Mine's actually a
I
rolling
think-
pin.
Yes, you've got a rolling pin, Nikki. And Suky, did you actually have a bat, like a baseball
No,
bat?
I've got an umbrella.
Umbrella, that's it. Yeah. I think our idea was to have a baseball bat or something, but I turned up with a hairbrush because I couldn't find anything in my
Well,
house.
yeah, it kind of thought it would be better maybe not to have actual, like, I don't know, I guess it's a baseball bat, not an actual weapon, but I thought it would be better to go a bit more, like, esoteric kind of, more household possession kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I actually don't have a baseball bat lying around, because we don't play baseball. But so it would be more natural just to have, what you would repurpose as a weapon, naturally.
And I ended up with one of Nikki's necklaces because my hairbrush looked pretty fucking lame, to be honest.
Yeah, my chain necklace.
So
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Do you know how many folk die per year from hairbrush-related stabbing incidents? Like,
Well, I know now.
No.
It just looks like there's like an outtake picture, and I'm literally just going, holding it like this, and I was like, no, let's not do that. And yeah, Nikki had like a necklace, and it was like, I think you had it tied around your wrist as like a bracelet, actually. Like, can you undid it and give it to me? And I was kind of holding it, but every time I kind of held it up to take the picture, like a little bit of it came off because it was like,
It's only plastic.
this is plastic, and like you're meant to pull it off easily so you can make it shorter or longer. And every time I did that, like a little bit came off the bottom of it, and I'm like, oh my god, like it just ended up with all these bits like in my pocket, like because we were trying to take these pictures, and the chain just gets shorter and shorter like the whole time. It was silly, but it was fun. I love those.
A lot of fun.
When you said you bought a hairbrush, you didn't. I feel like you forgot to bring anything, and so then you looked in your bag and found a hairbrush.
I mean, I couldn't find anything in my house leading up to these pictures, and I was like, "What the hell do I have? Do I have anything long? Do I have anything that looks remotely like not totally crap?" No. Okay, so on the day, I was like, "Oh my god, I still don't have anything because I'm disorganized."
I'm sorry for setting such a crazy brief. But,
such high standards.
But it worked.
Yeah, we got there in the end.
Yeah.
Just you wait to the album where Suky gives you an even higher standard brief, like because she's going to be the center of the production,
yes.
So
We've already got a plan if we still do it.
Pretty fucking awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about whatever we're gonna end up with on the front of this album.
Cool. Should probably take another break. Actually, we'll break here and we'll play some more songs.
And it's gonna be alright.
you to dust, melt me down. It's a big black armor. Leave no trace of grace, just in your honor. Lower me down, culprit sound. You can watch the spacing sound for the lead and the dreads in my bed.
fight your disbelief in deadlines? When will it go? Draw out the night-long storm. When will you sow? Drink the water, it's not your fault.
私もうあなたのおもちゃじゃないのよ。やめて。頭の中で読み続けてる。愛の墓まで愛の墓まで頭の中で読み続けてる。頭の中で
So anyone who's listening there, you will have heard It's Alright, original house mix by Sterling Void and Paris Brightledge, The Greatest by Cat Power, Panic Attack by Pussy Riot, Rufus by Bamia, Oni Sun Unknown by Otoboki Beaver, and then Riot's Not Diets by Fistymuffs. So off mic just there, Nikki, you said you've got a story behind that that house song. It's Alright. So would you like to share with the class what the story is?
Well, the story, right? Okay, so I'm going to take you back, right? I'm taking you back. So in the mid 80s, the majority of the music I was listening to was basically pop music. I'm a massive New Order fan, a massive Pet Shop Boys fan. So they're my two main sort of go-to two bands. And where I was working at the time, I was working in the office, and there was this lad, like lovely lad, and he says to me, "I've got something for you," and he gave me a cassette. Because we were talking about music and stuff, and he was originally from Liverpool, and you know, he was a really nice lad. And he said, "I've got something for you. I've got this cassette," and he gave me this cassette, and it was a cassette called. It was basically what he'd done is he got this CD and ripped it. This is before boys and girls, before downloads and torrents and all that kind of stuff. The way we used to do bootlegging was your mate would get a CD. Record it to a cassette. So we didn't burn it. You had to literally sit for 45 minutes and watch it recording onto the cassette, and then flip it over and watch it for 45 minutes. So he gave me a cassette and he said, "You need to listen to this." And it was called Acid House Tracks Volume 3. And there was two songs on there that stood out, which was that song, It's Alright, and Marcel Jefferson's House Music Anthem. And those two songs got me into dance music, and that point was the change of my music life, if you know what I mean, because that's when I discovered the Chicago sound, what was going on with the clubs and all the underground shit that was going on, and that's what took me off on my musical. So pop music basically not sort of stopped there for me as an epicenter. I mean, I was still a massive Pet Shop Boys fan and that, but that's what took me off on this road that I've been on ever since, of dance music. You know, and my passion for Chicago house, that house sound, and even Detroit techno as well. So that was that moment. If that lad didn't give me that cassette, I probably would be still I would have heard it, because obviously it became big in the 90s, but I wouldn't have been as passionate about it because it was just the music that's happening. But because that happened, that's just what sort of took me on a journey.
Well, there you
Isn't
go.
it amazing? Small things just change your life.
That's so great. I want to make a movie with that scene in. That's
it's honestly. I mean, I lost the cassette. Cassette's gone. Cassette's gone in the midst of time. But I did get the CD later on. Like, I managed to pick the CD up secondhand, from a secondhand shop. I managed to spot it and got it. So I've got it on the original CD now. But that initial moment was just,
I'm glad you've got a good story for that, because it's an absolute cracking song, and it's just nice to have a good story around it as well. And it'll be. I'm sure it'll. It filled me with a lot of joy when I heard it today, that song. So
good.
I
hope you all enjoy it too, boys and girls.
It's almost like a prog kind of dance song in a way, because it's like a 6 minute it's a wee 6 minute epic. So.
But that's the thing, though. You've got to remember, it's like that was the age of the 12-inch. So everything was on 12-inch, like that kind of stuff. You coveted a remix by somebody, and that's why those songs were that long, and they're perfect for the dance floor as well, because you wanted a long song for dancing to. And it makes sense as well on the 12-inch as well, because obviously for all the bass frequencies it'd be with the further space between the grooves you can that must sound amazing on that 12-inch actually, so yes, when you've got a decent sound system, it is pretty good. And I've played it a few times and it never fails when I've DJ'd it. Everyone knows it and they pick it up and they go, "Oh, this is just a cracking tune." There's the few tracks that you play that people just resonate with. So there we go. That's my
Well, staying on the theme of other artists, I guess we'll do the highlighted artist bit now, because that falls on nicely from that. So this is the bit where whether I get the active interview now yourselves to pick another artist who's not a fellow DIY artist to they really like to talk about, and we'll play a song from them as well. So we mentioned it earlier. You've picked Lou McLean It is Lou McLean, isn't it? I said it right. It's Lou McLean rather than Lou McLean, isn't it?
Yes,
It's Lou McLean.
for sure.
Yeah, because it's you can pronounce that name. I think McLean or McLean.
I used to pronounce it wrong, and then yeah.
I'm sure she told you very lovely you're pronouncing it wrong. I've not met Lou in person, but
Well, Ashley.
Ashley,
I only found out last year that I've been pronouncing Ashley's last name wrong. Nikki and I were both pronouncing it wrong. We thought it was Stein.
Is it Steen?
Steen.
Right, I thought it was Stein. There you
Everyone does. Because of the way it's spelled, it's technically, I suppose, if I was German or whatever, it would probably be pronounced that way, but it's pronounced Steen.
Well, there we go. Everyone's getting educated now on how to pronounce Lou's name and your name is all sorted. So anyways, so
mine's pronounced Goodfellow. No, it's not. No.
Oh my god, what?
So is Nikki's faux X?
It is definitely foo.
well
It's
cool.
foo X. You've got to roll those X's on your tongue.
Anyways, yeah. So Lou was mentioned earlier as being part of the girls' rock school scene and being involved in the songwriting sessions that he's been involved with online and stuff as well. Yeah, so basically just give if you folks can give a brief overview on who Lou is and what she does and why you've picked her as the above all others for your other DIY acts for your choice. Yeah, let's go for it.
Cool. Yeah, I suppose like I am. So Lou, because I've worked with Lou a lot on other projects as well. Like, so yeah, I met her through Girls Rock School, and so Lou is like she does acoustic stuff, so she plays acoustic guitar, and she does like Riot Girl pop. So it's really similar, like talking about the same like subjects, the same themes as we do, but in like with a more like a pop vibe to it, and it's really good. She's just really good. She's had like I think she got two EPs out now. So her first one, oh god, she got 3 out. Oh my god, 3 EPs out now, and she's a DIY artist. She records her own stuff. Like she's done loads and loads of gigs, and yeah, she's also just like massive feminist background in like prevention of violence against women within like her day job and like other sort of activist stuff that she's done. And it was her and Lorraine Macaulay who set up the Girls Rock School Song Circle that we mentioned earlier. And yeah, I guess I've done a couple of other things with her. So me and her in 2017 we set up a one-day event called Dare Fest, which was like a day of like talks and workshops and stuff about helping women break into the music industry, because that's kind of like my background is in music business and stuff from my degree, and that was really, really cool. And then we've done a couple other things together as well, and yeah, she's just generally great. I really like her style of music. Like overall, I think she's a really, really good songwriter. She's like, I suppose the term is like confessional songwriter. And I think like, yeah, I remember like when me and her did Dare Fest together, and I think it was either one of her friends or something, it was a Girls Rock School person said like, oh, it's really random that you are working together because you play completely different music. And we were like, no, we don't. It's literally like, it sounds different, but it's the same themes, it's the same like subjects, like we're talking about the same things, it's just being put over in a slightly different way. And she's so like what's the word, like she's so engaged with the community that we're involved in as well, like doing the songwriting song circle, but she's also done loads of workshops through Girls Rock School as well, like songwriting and how to be a badass, which is about like asserting yourself and like gaining confidence and like all this kind of thing. And she definitely inspires me a lot as a musician because there's so many things that she's done, and like I think so because she goes to gigs by herself, like she has this total other experience. Like we go to gigs together and we play gigs together, and we spend a lot of time in our little Girls Rock School bubble, like in this nice supportive space where we're playing to other women and other like queer folk, and we're having like a good time. And then then we step out of that and we go to a gig with like a totally different audience, and it's quite, I find it quite overwhelming a lot of the time to just be like, oh, there's so many people here that we don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. It's still quite nervy. Whereas Lou, she does it all the time. Like she goes by herself to gigs, and like she plays on her own, and like she just has like a total different sort of level of confidence about doing stuff like that. And I just find it really inspiring. And I think that like we both sort of like started getting more into like songwriting this year, and there was a songwriting course that we were both on a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's just like when you have like another woman who's like your friend, who's a musician, who's like doing music, and like just like seeing them like succeed and do really well, and like seeing what they're doing to develop themselves, and like, because it's hard, I think, to look at yourself and see how far you've come, like, because obviously we can listen to the music that we've made and I can be like, oh, okay, like, yeah, my voice sounds like totally different. Like I still feel like I can't really play the bass, but I can play it badly better than I used to, like slightly more control over it now. But when you look at somebody else, and it's really easy to see how much they've grown and developed and everything. So I just find her like a really inspiring person to sort of like to see that happen with. And I just think all of her songs are really well written and like really melodic and really like fun to sing. And the one that we chose, Empty Cans, is like my favorite one as well. I just think I always have it stuck in my head like all the time. I just think it's like a total tune. So
it's a nice we won that Empty Cans, but that's pretty, I'd say that's pretty spot on about Lou. It's nice to hear more about you folks encouraging each other and stuff as well with that there. I still have to see her live. There's been a couple of times where I think I've almost seen her, and then I think she's been opening. I was sure it was a contest where she's the opening act of a gig, and then I think it was one time she was an opening act of the gig, and I turned up late. And I think another time was I feel like there was another time where I think she wasn't playing for some reason or something anymore. I'm not quite sure. It's been twice that I've missed her. I think I can't remember what the exact reason were, but I think that's what they were.
That is the curse of the solo artist, is having to open often.
But she did play one of my streams last year actually, and did a really good job at that. Like she did a killer job there. She had a wee budgie. So
yeah.
Oh, the parrot.
Pepper. Yeah. Pepper. My God, he's so cute. So cute.
Yeah, character. Actually, the first musician I was privileged to see outside, out of lockdown, caught her on a beach.
Oh, that was on Friday. That was the Friday that just passed, wasn't it?
Friday, yeah. So just on the beach next to the sewage works. But amazing, yeah. Total bop.
That must have been lovely, actually. Her music would really suit like a kind of campfire kind of thing, for sure.
Yeah.
And I know she's good.
We danced around.
And she's good. I think Ash just pretty much said it better than I could with her. But I think what's interesting with Lou is I remember when I first started listening to it, I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of like. At first, I thought it was this is kind of like other singer-songwriter stuff that I heard before. But then when you kind of like listen to more of what she's singing about and everything, you're like, oh, it's actually like really cool, like because her lyrics are really good, and like I think she's got this incredible wit on her, her lyric writing is like really good, and like and then as I got more into that EP I was listening to, I was like, no, the songs are actually like like they they're well put together, and like just the way it's quite folky in a way, but then like the way she sings is so like punk and just like direct, and like and then you go back, I think I heard Empty Cans a wee bit because I was more familiar with her. Yeah, it was her later EP I'd heard more recently, which I really liked. But then to go back to hearing Empty Cans today, a bit later, I'm like, this is a really good tune actually. Like I really like it's got the guitar's catchy, and it's like and it's obviously about a relationship that she had that wasn't particularly good and everything. And so you're right, like very 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 similar themes particularly to early Fistymuffs stuff as well. So which is great, and like it'd be cool to see the parodies on a bill together sometime. Actually, I would really like to see that.
Yeah, well, maybe even a track together.
Yes, indeed, yes, because we started one of the, well, hopefully on our album, because we started one of the songs that I wrote in the songwriting circle that then I brought to Fistymuffs. Lou really liked it and wanted to work on it as well. So I've said to her, like, if she wants to do that, she can come work with us on it, and we can do a sort of collab on that track, and it'll go on our album, which I think would be really, really cool.
That'd be amazing.
Decent.
She made that. She made that happen. Like I for one would love that. So like.
Yeah, I think it'd be really interesting.
I think your voices would be quite interesting together, actually, because like you're similar. Well, I mean, her voice is her delivery's quite similar to yours, actually. I think, but in like a different way. But that's her voice is still very closest to. But see if all four. I don't know what you want to do with it, but like like if it's the two of you or all four of you, however you do it, it'll sound really cool having that extra element there. So
yeah.
I'm sure I'll be very pissed off. I'm sure, and. Making a point about something which so it'll be cool to see. We'll come back to that album in a bit. Actually, I feel like before we talk about that, it's just if we're going chronologically, I should mention that song that you did that came out during lockdown, "Other Girls," which I saw was released through this thing that you're involved with, actually called POWA. Have I pronounced that right? Is that how you pronounce it, or do you?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you say POWA or if you say the initials. But then, but I hadn't heard it because to begin with, you had to be a subscriber to that to hear it, and then I was subscribed to it, and then but no, I heard it today, and it was really cool. I remember Suky had mentioned to me when I met up with her for a wee walk. I remember last month that it had like electronic drums and stuff on it and everything, and I was like, well, that sounds interesting. And then I heard it, and I'm like, these are interesting, these are cool, and it had like synths and stuff on it and everything. So it's quite a different song for you to do, and it was just cool. And then I know that he's composed that together. You wrote that remotely, did you? Yeah. So I guess so. Yeah. So tell us about that song. Like, how did that come? Well, obviously it was written remotely because of lockdown, but how did you just end up writing that? What's kind of the song about? And and what was the experience of that like? I guess I'll let you talk now. Bothered enough.
Yes, I guess I'll just start just about the POWA thing there as well. So So like during lockdown, so like last year, I started like activist songwriting collective with another musician called Siobhan Wilson, who I'd met just before lockdown when we were going to do an event together, and she just randomly phoned me up like halfway through lockdown, and there was loads and loads of stuff happening in the music industry like halfway through lockdown, like loads of like women were coming out and talking about their experiences of the music industry, and specifically in Scotland as well. There was a lot of like really kind of brutal kind of stuff being talked about all of a sudden, and it was like really good because it was getting talked about, but it was just like, fucking hell, how bad is this? Like, it was really difficult to hear about all these stories of these women like working on tour with bands, or just generally like in their workplace, like being like victims of like assault and everything, like. And she wanted to do something about it, and because of like the type of like music that we write in the band, and like from meeting me and stuff, like she thought I'd be a good person to sort of set it up with. So we just kind of started talking and started setting it up. So it's called POWA, and stands for Protection of Women in the Arts. And the idea is that like through a Patreon, our Patreon page, every sort of like 2 months we release a new track which we write in collaboration with an artist, like a female identifying woman, a trans non-binary artist, and the idea is that the songs are about their experiences of the music industry, and the songs are there to sort of raise awareness of the fact that like the music industry is not a safe and supportive place for any of these people, and with the idea that like by raising awareness of it and like putting all these songs out there, one, we're providing paid opportunities for work for women during a time when the music industry was like collapsing, and women are the most affected by that in terms of like being the main caregivers and like all that general kind of stuff that happens in every other industry as well. It happens in the music industry, and being freelancers as well. There's no protection. There's not a one sort of like organization, like a HR organization who oversees things. Like if you're at a gig and you like get like verbally harassed or like groped or whatever by another band, like a member of another band, there is not a clear direction of where or who you should go to make a complaint about that. Like, is it the band's manager? Is it your own manager? Is it the promoter? Is it the venue owner? Is it someone else? Like, there's no clear path for these things. So women just don't know what to do or where to go, and it just becomes like a whole thing. So so yeah, the idea was to sort of like talk about that and stuff. Yeah.
There is a responsibility of promoters to make sure everyone feels safe at your gig, and I think as a promoter you should expect the venue to like back you up and enforce their rules, because of course the bouncers belong to the venue. But I have seen things being done right. I think at Banshees once someone like hassled my friend, and I think Masha like dealt with it, and like the bouncers also like got rid of that guy. That was so that you can't. I think that was a transphobic incident actually. But it was. I was really glad it was dealt with, and obviously I trust that promoter. I wasn't performing, but I trust that promoter again because of how it was dealt with. It's really important, and and it is. So that's one of the reasons I guess you can say it's nice to have women promoters, because they'll maybe understand that kind of thing. Also, there's a time I was a gig where one of the promoters, who's a guy in Edinburgh, and felt really supported, but he offered to kick some guy out who'd like broke me, and he was like, if you have any other trouble, let me know. It's really good to like know that people have your back. You feel so safe in the environment.
It's exactly how it should.
I wouldn't bother in that instant, because I think the guy was really high, because I gave him a push and like he literally like fell 3 meters away. So I was like, wow, I don't know my own strength, but I was like, wow. I think I definitely, it's really important that people feel safe at gigs, and I really hope that if anyone was at a gig we were organising and had any trouble, that they would know that they could come speak to us, and deal with that as like quickly and effectively, discreetly, if they liked, as we could.
Yeah, that's how it should be. It should be handled like everyone should feel safe at gigs. That there should be no, and then as a promoter, you don't want or bands you're putting on stuff, you don't want anyone to feel unsafe or unsupported and stuff as well. So that sounds like it was handled. Those times it sounds like that's how it should have been completely handled. And mad respect to the venues and the promoters there, like, because that's like really really good to hear. So that's all I should say about it, because like it's it's much more appropriate for the period you used to talk about it. So
no, that's all right. I think it's good that it's good to know that everybody, no matter gender or no gender at all, like thinks that these things are important, and like wants, especially like because you run gigs, like it's really important that that you definitely agree with that kind of thing as well, and like because we know you're cool, you're pretty great, so we want to do gigs with you. And I definitely think again it's that whole coming out of like our little feminist community bubble and going to another gig and just being a bit like I always get a bit of the fear, like, is this gonna go okay, like what's gonna happen, but to come back to your question, sorry, as well.
It's all right. That was all very important stuff to say. So I'm glad that's all there. So yeah. Yeah,
no, definitely. I think it is. It's super important. Like, and so me and Siobhan really wanted to try and like do activist stuff around that, and so we worked with a bunch of different artists, and I started sort of like making music outside of the band, which is not something I'd done before at all, and working with Siobhan, who's like properly like famous, like. She's a famous person, and I still get a bit like, what's happening to my life a lot of the time. I'm just like really good friends with this really nice person who like has been on tour with Sharon Van Etten, and like what's happening to my life, and just like, oh my god, like really really cool person. Anyway, so we worked with a bunch of different artists and made sort of like songs with different people, and then obviously wanted to do one with Fistymuffs. So I think I had an idea that it, like, I can't remember. I think I just, like, you know, just randomly when you think of something and you just sort of like repeat it to yourself in your head and you're just like, okay, that sounds interesting, that's a good line, what's that line? And I just kind of had this line in my head I think it was for ages, to be honest, like before, like years before, like it was other girls, just like thinking about this idea, like that we're constantly, like, as women, pitted against each other, like from like when you're small, like your kind of society is geared towards making you jealous of other women, to making you competitive rather than bringing you together. And like even now, like when we're all together, we're like, all my friends, like most of my friends are women, like I'm in a community full of like really great feminist people. The internal misogyny that you've learned your entire life is still sometimes, it comes up. It's the first thing that comes up. Like if you see someone who is doing really well, or like a woman who like looks completely different to you or whatever, like my brain instantly has a bad negative reaction to that, because society has conditioned us to feel like that about other women, and it's really fucking difficult to just be like, that's not how I actually feel, like move past it. Like it's really scary to me that it is so ingrained in us to be that way with each other, and it's a constant battle to sort of like push back against it. So I just thought it would be nice to write a song about that, and just like about internal misogyny and how like it's a massive struggle and it's a massive part of our lives as women, but it doesn't have to rule everything, that we can get past it. And like it's that whole thing like guys say to you, like when you're younger or older, like definitely when I was like younger, like had people say to me, they're like, oh yeah, you know you're not like those other girls, like, oh you're this, you're like cooler, or you're this or whatever. And when you're young, like you like it, it's flattering, and you're just like, oh yeah, I'm not like that, I'm like one of the guys, or like, oh I'm really cool or whatever. And it's like becomes a thing that you then aspire to be, like not like other girls, and you're just like, well, what's wrong with other girls, what's wrong with other women? And it just builds up into this whole thing. And yeah, so I wanted to write a song about that, and it turned out completely different to what I thought it was going to turn out like. And I thought everybody would hate it. I thought Suky and Nikki would be like, what the fuck is this, what have you done, I don't understand. Because it's so fucking all over the place. Like there's spoken bits, like, and then there's singing, and then there's all this madness, and there's like poetry bits. Oh my god, I just thought everyone would just be like, you've gone mad.
Oh wow.
So I'm glad you just liked it. I was so worried. So
Oh no, wow. Well, it's great to do something different and, you know, force us to try working in new modes. I mean, I don't know how I could play it again. I think I played guitar and some synth, and it's all a bit of a blur. I've been under a lot of stress for the past year, and I'm not sure. It all seems a bit of a blur now. I'm not sure my memory is quite working right for what I did. So it is what it is. It's a time capsule of that moment, and yeah. I don't think I can actually play it because
we'd have to listen to it and be like, I'd have to find what I wrote down.
I mean,
and have to
I've got some music notation like written down in a book somewhere, but I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know where it fits in.
Sounds like a teenage book of like you know, here's these guitar licks I've come up with and stuff.
Yes.
It's funny. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that's basically how it was. Because to be honest with you, this is the first track that we tried to do ourselves in the context of putting it together. You know, we've had producers, and you know, we've had the two EPs produced by other people and recorded it, but because of the lockdown situation, you know, we thought we'd give this a go. And I was quite excited about it because I've been doing a music production course over the last couple of years to make music as well, but more dance orientated stuff, because obviously I'm into dance music. Like
as that story exhibited.
As that story alluded to. So so when Ashley suggested this, and you know, she had this context of an idea, and you know, she was talking about what she wanted to do, it felt like an exciting experiment for us, and for me especially, because this really pushed me in a different direction to what I was doing but it was such a great exercise, and I love doing it. And you said before about the electronic drums, you know, that thing, like, you know, having to program the drums, you know, because I wouldn't been able to play them, you know, and record them like I normally would do. And then getting Suky and Ashley to do all their bits and then provide those and then layer it all into a palette of instruments within the DAW that I use, and then to try and get it into a context where the three of us were happy with it, and you know, and again, it sounded like a sound that we liked. You know, I felt that was a fantastic challenge, you know, and you know, hopefully everyone thinks it sounds all right. You know what I mean? It's, you know, but
this is definitely kind of the direction we're moving forward, and the album we're working on. I think we're going to see, yeah, we want to combine a bit of everything from like our really stripped down punk roots to being more melodic and post-punk, and maybe having a bit more synth and electronic beats produced on some tracks. I think it's a progression, but also I think we're not abandoning either this, you know, stripped back gritty punk roots either. I think we just want to combine everything.
To be honest with you as well, we'd spoken about this a long time ago, because all three of us have got like an inspiration of that kind of synth sound. You know, it's just what we do as a band is instrument driven. You know, like guitar, bass, and drums.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so Suki's always alluded to doing a bit of synth stuff.
Yeah. Well, I was going to play the keyboard in Fistymuffs originally, because you know, that's the instrument I learned growing up. Still probably know how to play it better than guitar.
We're getting all the Fistymuffs lore today.
You're getting all the folklore here, you know.
Yeah.
I think the exercise of doing the track is, yeah, it was really interesting to do, and you know, we all, it was really
And
fun.
we're putting out a new single, This Job Is Killing Me, soon. We did record the drums way back early 2020 at Edinburgh College, because Ashley was actually being musician in residence there, and so arranged that for us. I don't know if you want to talk about that, Ashley.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I'm the artist in residence for the music business and sound production courses at Edinburgh College. So I did my HND in music business there a long time ago, and so I'm back there. Hopefully, I actually get to go into the building this year as well. So I started doing it in 2019, and then got halfway through the academic year and then lockdown. So I stayed on, but didn't really do anything this last year because there was not a lot to do. And then going back in this year, so I'll have been there for like 3 years when I finish it. Hopefully they'll give me a job. That'd be nice.
Is it meant to be like a year-long thing, basically, but because of COVID, it's become like,
it's now 3 years.
As metal. You've kind of looked out and not looked out in a way with that, to be honest. So.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's been really cool because like I get to work with the people who taught me, and they're all super nice and so knowledgeable, and like I get really attached to buildings. Like I'm super, so like going back to college and being there, I was like, oh, I love it. I love being here. I love being in these corridors and in these rooms and everything. Like I just love it. I really like it, and yeah, it's really fun. So like we're doing one of the things I was doing a bunch of stuff there, but one of the things I was doing was helping like the record label that got set up when I was there back in the day, Feast Records. They wanted to sign 3 artists and record a single for each of them and then release it. So we were sort of working on that. So yeah, we brought in Fistymuffs to record a song that we'd written, which means we wrote this song like in 2019, which is mad. And we came in for the day into the studios and we worked with the students, and they recorded the drums for us. And then earlier on this year, I emailed one of the student who had the drums and was like, can you just send them to us? Actually, we're sick of waiting, like, fuck it, let's just try and do it ourselves. Especially because other girls had worked and we were like, oh, we can actually do this. We've got the skills now. Like, Nikki, you've like learned so much, and like you can mix tracks, you can do fucking anything now. Like, so we were just like really hyped about it. Like, fuck it, let's do something else. And we already had the drums recorded, so I emailed the guy and he sent them to us. And then Suky came round to mine and recorded the guitar. I recorded the bass, did the vocals, and it's almost ready. It's almost ready.
We might have a little few extras in with the clickety clackities. Clickety clackities.
So, quickity clackies. What's that?
What is that?
Secret.
Secret.
You didn't cut that out, did you? The keyboard type bit. Typing keys.
No, I didn't. I think I kept the typing keys in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just actually, to be honest with you, right? Can I just quickly show you something? Like this is the track here.
Ah, sweet. So is that what's happening? So with this one and with other girls, did you kind of do the more production side of the thing? I think of things on those ones, Nikki, or was it kind of?
Yeah. So that's
because I got the impression. I knew it was kind of collaborative, obviously, with what you all wanted and stuff. But were you doing the sort of the final kind of mixing bits of it, basically, and like all together?
Yeah.
Cool. That's what I thought. I was just kind of just wanted to make sure I had that right. So
yeah, it's more or less there. I think the context of just getting it into a place where we're happy with it is the important thing, you know. And then at the end of the day, you know, for like when we had Alan doing the first EP, I mean, his experience on production is just way past me. But it can't be any more punk than us just trying to put something together, can there? I mean, come on. Yeah, that's punk itself, isn't it?
It is. It sounds like a logical sense as well. I also think it's good. It's cool that you're doing it as well. I think because if you're doing you've done the chorus yourself as well, but also the fact that like, I guess like the fact that with house music and stuff, like there's quite a lot of good sounds and stuff like that. Particularly, there's quite good. Like you can really feel the sort of the rhythm and the bass and stuff on a lot of that sort of stuff. Yeah. So it kind of makes sense that kind of like, you know, you're at that seat to then kind of do it. I think that'll sound pretty cool. I mean, if other girls have anything to go by, that new single will be class as well, I'm sure. So because I really liked the other girls. I thought that was a really cool song and stuff, like very different for yourselves, and I'm quite excited to see how that gets married with your other stuff, which I also of course like. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna come out. So
thanks.
With so I guess the last thing I should ask is with that album, how are you getting on with recording that? Because Suky, you'd mentioned to me that you'd been recording some of it, and I think you were all saying kind of right this interview at points that you know that's been done. So is it all recorded, or is there still bits left to do, or how's it coming together?
It's not exactly all written. We've got the basis for like these 10 songs, so we know what we want. We just need to get them all ironed out, like parts for everyone needs to play parts in them, and so we've only got This Job Is Killing Me that I have to be on it, but otherwise it all needs recorded.
So it'll be a while before the album comes out, basically, but the single
you might hear one song I think we've got ready to play live at least. And I think by your next gig we will surprise you with a few new songs, but you'll have to hear it there first.
Why do you think This Job Is Killing Me is going to come out?
September?
Thinking September.
Cool.
All right, maybe Ashley. Are you on mute?
Oh, am I?
Oh no, I thought you were on mute because you were. I thought you were. It sounded like you were saying something, but I couldn't hear you saying.
We're aiming for, I think, September.
Yeah, September, I think, for sure. Like, it's almost good to go. And then we're going to get Rusty, who did the second EP, to master it for us. He's very kindly agreed to do that for us, which would be amazing. So, because he knows our sound and everything, so we thought it would be cool to ask him to do it. And he said yes, which is really awesome.
And yeah, we've got the artwork up on our Facebook page if you want a teaser. I just made that myself using a post-it note from work, and yeah.
Well, that's a good point as well. If after this folk want to keep up with what you are doing, then Facebook and Instagram are the places to go. I'm sure. I don't know if there's a particular one would direct folk to more than the other, or just. I think I sometimes update the Facebook. I'd say mostly. And then Instagram, then Twitter last. I didn't even know there was a Fistymuffs Twitter, so there you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. it's there
I yeah, I don't go on it anymore. I don't know. I got rid of Twitter on my phone because it was bringing me bad vibes.
It was.
Yeah.
The thing with
I've not used
Twitter
it
is
in
a
a
bit
long time.
toxic.
Yeah.
At least it's not. At least it's not owned by Facebook, though. That's one of the things I will say in its defense. Like, because Facebook owns a lot of the stuff now. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's weird 'cause, like, I use it for,
guys
like,
who run Twitter, I don't know.
yeah, it's weird. It's like I go on it every now and then, but I'm just sort of like flitting between social media stuff, and I'm just like, oh no, I'm really fucking depressed now from looking at this. Like, because you instantly see, like, on the right hand side, the news of the day with pictures and everything, and then you're just like,
so many awful things happening right now. On top of COVID, there's how COVID's going on in the other world. There's the whole Afghanistan situation right now. It's just like, and that's just touching the surface. It's all insane.
Absolutely. Like, I think that's what it was. I wasn't going to go on social media at all the last couple of days because I was like, I just can't handle it. And then I went on Twitter for some reason I don't even remember now, and literally as soon as I was on there, I was like, nope, that's I can see everything that I didn't want to have to think about right now. And then it's just too much, I think, sometimes, like, for anybody really. And it's just like, there's this very desperate need. I think I've deleted my Facebook like 8 times. Like,
I am going to update the Facebook very soon with a new thing we're part of, which is the Sound Walk, which is fundraising for Tiny Changes.
I'd heard about that.
Mental health charity. So we've contributed a song, and if you go to the app, you can find that several musicians around Edinburgh have connected a song to a specific place. So I think if you go to the place with the app, you can hear it. And yeah, I think as part of it, it's donation based, or donation to the Tiny Changes charity.
Yeah,
in memory of Scott Hutchinson, the Frightened Rabbit singer, and so it's a mental health fundraising.
Yeah, very good cause.
We've contributed Survivors Like History because that's about getting through depression.
Yeah. I think that's actually like maybe my favorite song of ours as well. Like,
today's week's song. It's a good end. It's a good ending to that EP actually. So
yeah, I think it just means a lot to like all of us for sure, and especially like over lockdown and stuff. There's a lot of like vibes, definitely. Like, I had a mental breakdown like a couple of months ago, definitely, and I just like really like that song. I just kind of brings me back into like a nice place to be like, everything.
It's got a good sense of camaraderie. It's got a good sense of camaraderie and like, people united and banding together kind of thing about it, which is probably a nice way to maybe cap stuff off before we get too depressing again, because we're getting down a depressing hole. No, it's not just you. I brought the Afghanistan situation, and I'm just thinking, it is getting it is getting a bit later and stuff as well. So I think to cap off, what I will say is, so I mentioned finding you, keep up with what you're doing later. And I'll say you're on Bandcamp, which is probably the best way to get stuff from you.
Yeah, that's the best way.
And you also got a YouTube channel as well. Then there's also you're also on Spotify as well. If I use through there, other stuff you do, Suky does spoken words. You can find that. You're starting to do stuff with that again, aren't you? You've got like a show coming up. This won't be out in time for that. But there's a show soon, which I'm excited to see. I'm going to go see that at the Greenwood. That'll be fun.
Amazing. It's not now just called Cafe Queer.
Is it Cafe Queer now? All right, cool.
Oh, cool.
And then so there's POWA as well on Ash's end, and we didn't talk about it, but there's also sober spaces that you're trying to set up. So there's that too. But that's a whole other conversation. But we'll just say that that's something else you're doing. You also did some stuff under King Rib with your partner as well, didn't you? A couple of songs last year. That's on SoundCloud.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I found that that's on SoundCloud, I think, for sure. Yeah,
and then I know Nikki does house stuff. It's Foxy DJ. Is it your house stuff's under?
Yeah, it's Foxy DJ. You can get it on Mixcloud, and I'm on Twitter. And I don't have any gigs coming up because things are just not.
It'll happen. I think what we should it'd be cool actually sometime. I think like maybe next thing I put on. Well, maybe not next. Some other thing I put on in the future to be like yeah, it'd be good to get you to. I don't know. It had to be. You'd have to the place till late, but I'd quite like to have you do some. It'd be cool to have you do some house stuff afterwards, but it depends on where you do it and what the
I
chat
would
is,
love
but
to do that.
It could be cool to do that actually.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think the last time I had a really good gig like that was when we did International Women's Day at the Henry Cellar Bar, where we had the bands on, and then I went on and DJ'd afterwards, and the vibe was unbelievable. It probably the best DJ gig I've done for ages. That one.
That would be really cool to see. So hopefully like, you know, like, yeah, we can see his play, and also in Fistymuffs and then other projects, and also the house stuff as well. I'm just making sure I've got everything he's due as well. There's also Suky does art, Suky Goodfellow art as well, and then Voice X as mentioned as well. They're on Bandcamp and YouTube and stuff too. That they're not banned anymore, but that is a thing. I think I've got all your projects. I think I can't think of any more off the top of my head. If there's any I've missed, do let me know. We can plug it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds great.
But yeah, and I think as well, you can also and you can find Lou on Bandcamp as well, and YouTube and stuff, and anything else that's been played across this is on Bandcamp, YouTube, Spotify, etc. So folks should check those out, support all the artists and everything, of course. I think that's everything we need to say. Yeah, well, thanks for the lovely chat, all three of you. It's been an absolute pleasure to like speak to the three of you and get all the insights into the Fistymuffs lore and everything. So.
You've seen us from the start to where we are now.
I learned a lot. Actually.
From Scottish Storytelling Centre to
Ashley used to work at Dynamic Earth. Oh,
Yeah, man.
amazing. Anyway, thank you again, Stu. Look forward to seeing you.
Thank you for having us. This has been brilliant. I've loved this chat.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we'll so the last songs will be played are Empty Cans by Lou McLean, then Other Girls by Fistymuffs, and then we might play This Job Is Killing Me, depending on if it's ready when I've finished doing my bit as well. So yeah, and then that'll close. So that will end the thing. That's us done.
The way we met on romantic upside, I caught your eye, you never uttered a word. It took time, I was the happiest I'd ever been, and you've got the clearest eyes that I've ever seen. Now observe the mess my heart is in. I'm still sleeping in your jumper 'cause it smells of your skin. And I don't wanna go back to the way it was before, trying to find the bedroom door, and empty cans are cascading out the window. You wanna stop but you just can't though, 'cause this is the way you've always dealt with it. So take my hand and put me into your car, and drive us out to the coast like all the times you have before. When my world ended, you drove to Dunbar so that I could watch the sea. You knew enough to know it was the only way to soothe me. I don't wanna go back to the way it was before, trying to find the bedroom door, and empty cans are cascading out the window. You wanna stop but you just can't though, 'cause this is the way you've always dealt with that. But this time's different, I know I'll get along, 'cause I've got my girls around me, and I've been writing songs. You once said I couldn't see us for the person that I tried to be. I tried to be. I spent too long trying to make you see that I need to be who I need to be, and not just exist to make you happy now. Now you're gonna go back to the way it was before, and he's trying to find my bedroom door, and empty cans are cascading out the window. You wanna stop but you just can't though, 'cause this is the way you've always through the day. I work to live. I struggle through the day. This job gonna kill me one day. I struggle through the day. I work to live. I struggle through the day. This job gonna kill me one day. Profit before people, sales before service, head in my hands. Is it all worth it? Staring out a window to the world outside. I wanna live, not just survive. This job is killing me. Bad place we run. Debt is a gun. Debt is a gun. This job is killing me. Bad place we run. Debt is a gun. Debt is a gun. Corporate greed, the new religion. Save us from this mass corruption. Shareholders demand more and more. Profit is the god we pay for. This job is killing me. Bad place we run. Debt is a gun. Debt is a gun. This job is killing me. Bad place we run. Debt is a gun. Debt is a gun. Your time is theirs and not your own. Keep in mind they offer loan. Sleep deprivation is the new normal. You should smile but keep it formal. This job is killing me. Rat race we run. Debt is a gun. Debt is a gun. This job is killing me. Rat race we run. Debt is a gun. Debt is a gun. This job is killing me. Rat race we run. Debt is a gun. Debt is a gun. This job is killing me. Rat race we run. Debt is a gun. Debt is a gun. Struggle through the day. I work to live. I struggle through the day. This job gonna kill me one day. I struggle through the day. I work to live. I struggle through the day. This job gonna kill me one day.
Okay, so thanks to everyone who tuned into or listened to that there. That was Fuzz Bat Gigs Podcast episode number 12 with special guests the lovely Fistymuffs, aka Ashley, Nikki and Suky. The latest single from Fistymuffs, This Job Is Killing Me, was released on October 2021, so that was of course finished before I was able to finish editing this podcast, so you'll have just heard that there before I started speaking there again. So yeah, everyone, please stay safe, please look after yourselves and enjoy the rest of your evening, or if you listen to this at a different time, enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers for now then folks, bye bye.
Fuzz Bat Gigs.